Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie. All doctors are golfers. Bellekom. Sam. All doctors will eventually be killed by Nosferatu. Burns. And Ellie, your father was a doctor. How did he die? Sparrow. Today's starting three is apparently brought to you by Logic Questions.
Yeah. Spicy brains and logic questions. It's a time. This was prompted by Robbie pronouncing question about a question that involved horsewomen juggling and snowboarders. Snowboarding,
yeah.
I still can't remember who was supposed to be doing what in it, to be honest.
No, me neither.
But if you know, then that seems like a good time to cast the answer to that into the future. And peering through the mists of time, we can ask, future us, what messages from the present?
It's future Ellie again. Hello. Sorry I sound like butts, by the way. I've been really ill this week. I just wanted to pop on and say thank you so much for all the attention you've all given my shop. I didn't think it would do very well in the first, week or two. But thanks in large to a fair amount of you giving it attention and buying things and reviewing me and doing all of the lovely things I could possibly have wanted. It's done really, really well for an Etsy shop in its first couple of weeks. And it means more than I can really explain, to be honest, because this is, the beginning of me properly going independent as an artist. There will be an Etsy shop, there will be lots of other things, but for the first real step of selling my original art to have gone this well is just wild to me, and I can't believe how much love you've all given it. So I just wanted to say thank you. Also, if any of you still want anything, by all means, keep buying things, by all means. That would make me very excited. If any of you do still want anything, there is actually a sale on this week on my shop. I'm away on holiday with Jason this week, so I won't be able to ship anything till the following week. So as a sort of thank you to anyone who's, willing to wait a few days longer than usual, there's 10% off everything in the shop. Be sure to look up your last shipping dates before Christmas. If you're international, it's between the 5th and the 12th of December, depending on what kind of shipping you go for. I'm going to add an upgrade so that you can get faster shipping near Christmas. And if you're in the UK, it's much later than that. It's the 18th of December, even for the cheapest shipping. So just bear that in mind if you order anything. But I would love to send some more things to you. You're all so lovely. Thank you so much. You've really just been out here making my small business a success in its first 2 weeks, and I could never have fathomed that you would be out there doing that, because you're people across the sea who I don't know, most of you, and who I've never met in person. Some of you I've had the pleasure of meeting in person, but yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. Also, please don't consider this pressure to buy anything. It really isn't. It also means the world when people share my posts or tell me they're excited about it, or, God, share my link with friends who they think might be interested in this sort of thing. Any of it is really wonderful, and I'm really thankful. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you properly. I've probably waffled, but I love you a lot. Fair seas, natural 20s. Thank you.
Oh, that many horse riders, right.
Now I get it.
When Robbie proposed it as, proposed the original question of some snowboarders juggle, all horsewomen are snowboarders, how many horsewomen juggle, I definitely imagined centaurs, snowboarding, centaurs, juggling.
You see, my brain has just started like mashing all these words together, and there's just a horse like sadly rolling down the hill with the juggling balls it's dropped at this point. Like, it's like nothing is making sense in here.
I mean,
it's just doing a roll. It's like a bad drawing of a horse as well. It's quite interesting. Yeah. It's like my brain can't be bothered to picture a real horse, so it's just decided to do a terrible drawing of one instead.
Juggling with hooves would be a challenge. While cleaning the house out recently, we discovered a lovely.
Oh my god, that's where the bad drawing of the horse is from. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of it.
A lovely, well done card that you did for me a number of years back, and it very much has a horse drawn from imagination. On it. My
god, I've progressed, lads. Is all I'm gonna say. Like, in terms of art, I was like, fuck, that's like a 10-year-old drew it, and that was like what 6 years ago or something.
7 years ago.
It's like fuck, I'm getting some skills. Now I'm doing cons and stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
I've actually just had a realisation.
As in conventions rather than conning people. Just
as not scams. like Comic Cons.
Art scam.
I'd love to do an art scam. That'd be fun. I'm not going to do an art scam, I promise. I've just realised it's my first con that I've done without any of you at this table being present. All the other cons that I've done were either Inkwell with Jason or like Flintlock stuff with you lot. So it's the first time that I've done one for like my own stuff.
Oh.
It went really well. I'm really happy about it.
Well done.
You did great.
I was the cutest elf at the fair.
You were.
Speaking of cons,
give us all your money.
It's time to begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously, on Flintlocks and Fireballs, the party found themselves within the domain of the Lawbearer in the Cirrus Citadel, and having discerned that high enough grade passports would require different higher grades of citizenship, the party have set out doing some odd jobs. Scamp was placed with a local architect or mason to build a series of terraced houses. Corzin was placed with a drow surgeon, Solon Lanmus, to do basically a residency day, and also save quite a lot on healing potions by virtue of magical healing. Mm-hmm. And Celestia ended up going to the theatre, the Rosewood Theatre.
Meeting only assholes.
And doing promotion, and essentially doing high magic promotional work for Rose of the Wastes. Best described as Romeo and Juliet meets Mad Max with a hint of Conan the Barbarian.
I'd so watch it.
Oh yeah, I've watched the hell out
100%.
of that.
As for what Shanti and Victory, there we go, got up to, we'll cover that as we come in. Now, at some point during your days, a message gets to you from Li Sheng that she has that she will check in with you at the end of the day, about, I'm going to say about 7 o'clock, which conveniently is about half an hour before your tickets to the theatre come to you. at the at the Horse and Pony Inn.
Horse and Pony.
Indeed. The Horse and Pony Inn and Tavern is and just general like eatery pub, if you will, is in not in the central districts where all the fancy things are, but but on a couple of districts out. So you are Scamp is actually the closest of the three to this, and will be the first to arrive. Scamp, after your after completing, I think we said it was 2 houses, and to a fine state through about 4 hours of work with the enthusiastic aid of Master Gort, the orc mason, the orc architect. He sends you off with after it seems like a bit of an argument with one of the bureaucrat. One of the berobed bureaucrats, who I'm going to say is wearing a blue robe of the, but kind of like a dull blue, almost sort of slate blue robe of the Mandarin-esque style that you've come to expect. After a lot of argument, he comes back and counts out to you 30 30 days worth of credits, literally in the form of a couple of one big 10-day coin, 3 small 5-day coins, 3 one-day coins, and then and then you notice a bunch of coins that are basically subdivided into hours. It looks like the standard work day here seems to be comprised of 8 hours, based on the coinage, on the way that the coins add up together. Oh,
what was
right.
all the arguing?
Sorry, I think I spoke over you. Say that again?
What was all that arguing about?
I had to justify how the credits would be how the credits were being spent to make sure that I could get you as much as I could. Basically, arguing that you'd successfully done the work of 30 people, of 30 day labourers or the equivalent in skilled labour. Getting those finishing pieces in just about swung it, though there was some argument that it wasn't part of the requirements. Still,
I mean, if you want, you can tell them I can just take it back down again if they're not happy. It won't be very neat, but I can very quickly. Just if it helps negotiate.
I don't know if that would help negotiate. In any case, it's all sorted now.
Good, that's good. Thank you.
No, that's fine. I'd love it if I could, if I could keep you here. But I understand you've got places to be. Yeah, that's your month.
Thank you.
Credits. So I guess, you can trade that in for citizenship. Probably in the morning. And well, the offer's a hand. It's been a pleasure.
It has. Thank you. It's been a weird day. I've got a lot of feelings and thoughts, but yeah, I do need to leave.
That's all right. I was recommended. Yeah, so I got told you'll be wanting to go to the horse and ponies. So sort of gestures and gives you some directions, and you make your way there.
Come on, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey scuttles along after you. The Corzin, at the end of your day, about 6 o'clock, Solon, having finished scrubbing up, with everything currently under control for the moment, gives you a clap on the shoulder. Right. That's 6. So unless you're planning to clock in some overtime, I can pay you for the day, and will be. And best of luck with your journeys from here. Now, since that, first of all, here's the day rate for an accredited surgeon. He counts out 3. He actually counts out, one of them is subdivided into smaller hour coins, but essentially 3 days credit coins. And I believe on top of that, I believe you saved us 11, by my count, healing potions for critical injuries. So, does a little bit thing, and then counts out 55 day tokens.
Okay.
Yes,
Right.
those are they're quite expensive, but I can justify it on the budget.
Well, thank you very much. And so this is and he points to the initial amount that he cancelled. Like, so that's what you would be paid a day for working here. And how long did you say you've been working here?
Well, I've been working. Well, I've changed careers a few times, but I've been working this job for the better part of 80 years at this point. But no, that's the standard for. That would be the standard rate for day rate for a trained surgeon. I suppose I could try and. If I was running the hospital with more of as some of the mercantile types like to call it, more of a profit motive, I suppose I could add all sorts of frills, start charging people, but I feel that somewhat goes against the spirit of the thing.
Yeah, rather.
No, that's the amount that is a credit. That would be the amount that is budgeted for me, or someone like me, by the state.
Right. All right. So, do you have? Is it more like a sense of you don't have the number of people with the required expertise, or would it just be more helpful to have a larger staff base to pull from?
It essentially comes. Well, I suppose we're talking. Are we talking? Whether you're talking private sector, public sector, essentially, but it comes down to the argument is fundamentally skill and training. It does take a number of years of dedicated schooling to reach your surgeon's accreditations. To say nothing of the medical accreditations that we have on top of that. I mean, obviously, I have a bit of an advantage in that I do live a long time, but the same rules would apply to a halfling or a human or an orc.
Of course. Okay.
And there are certainly, private surgeons and the like who charge on an individual basis, and they can get higher fees. But again, that's not why I'm here.
Yeah, no, there's got to be stuff like this that is done as a public service. Otherwise, well, nothing good happens.
Still, it's enough. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could save it all up and try and get a higher grade of citizenship, but at the end of the day, I have enough to live comfortably and do what matters, so why would I try to go for more?
Well, you know, as much here as, and he just gestures vaguely to out there, that's a wisdom you'd find surprisingly few people have.
In any case, I got a note saying that you're going to be that Li Sheng's going to meet you at the Horse and Pony. So here's some directions.
Thank you.
Provides directions, and you end up arriving a little after Scamp. Celestia.
Hello.
After your 10 minutes of active magic and a few hours of concepting and so on.
Yeah.
You are
most of the work was sitting with the artist, wasn't it?
It really was. The high on design, brief on execution. At that point, you have been paid, so you essentially get a few hours where you can either stick around and watch some more rehearsals or wander the city and the like, before you make your way to the Horse and Pony. I guess, in a sense, if you want, you can be the first person there because you can have turned up early.
I think I have a wander. I definitely don't stay with Dickhead in the theatre.
Is there anything in particular you want to look for or look at during the few hours you have of wandering time?
A little explore generally, but also I don't know, is there a tavern? Are there taverns, cafes?
There are numerous taverns and cafes. In fact, in the fancy bit in the centre of town, there's quite a lot of taverns and there's quite a lot of eateries and drinkeries. You do notice in the very centre there are a number which have little circles on them with numbers. Usually, say, you notice quite a lot with 3 or 4 on them, a couple with 2, and those ones, if you try to go in, they ask if they can. They ask what grade of citizen you are.
I want to try and find it. Somebody said basic daily food and stuff.
Yeah,
you can get basic daily stuff. I want to try and find where that happens.
So, I'm going to ask you for... This is covering something else as well, but can I ask you for an investigation check, please?
Yes. We'll try and sweet talk people if I'm rubbish. That is... Sorry, I don't know my investigation off the top of my head these days. We've had a change in numbers because of the Eye of the Storm. My brain just can't remember it. 17.
Okay, so people, apart from 1 or 2 people who, in that very central London way, kind of ignore you and are busy hurrying to get somewhere else, it doesn't take long for you to stop someone and ask them what the deal is with basic dailies. And I'm going to say it's a plump, orcish fellow in, again, that sort of, in somewhat fashionable robes. You can see that he's got a satchel full of what looks like documentation of some sort. But he seems happy enough to pause for a moment. Oh, basic dailies. I heard something about there being visitors.
Oh, yes.
Quite quite the get-up you have there.
Thank you. I found it in various weird places in my life. I appreciate the compliment.
My goodness, by the law, how peculiar. Well,
Take that.
basic dailies. Yes, of course. Have you been given a script?
What is a script?
Normally you just use there's just normally on yours as part of your citizenship papers you basically just get a little slate that you can tick off the days of the month on.
Right.
And you get those stamped when you go and pick up your dailies. I suppose as a visitor, you'd need to be issued a temporary one, but
right. No, that's fair enough. It's all new to me. So I think there's a local branch of the bureau near my points. Yes, you can just register. Go there, mention you're one of the visitors, and they should be able to issue you with one. Yeah.
And if not, but yes, pretty much just take that to you can either get your daily straight from the bureau, or if it's food, but with classic food and lodging, if you don't have somewhere set up specifically. Most eateries are registered, of course. They're obligated to do so. So just ask them to stamp your script for the day, and they'll issue you food and lodging.
Do you think it would be like a lot of paperwork for someone like me to get a script?
All you need to do is prove that you're not a citizen.
Right.
Which is very easy.
I think that'd be pretty easy, yeah.
Because if you were a citizen,
to be honest.
you would have
I'd have a script.
Yes.
And it all circles round. Right, excellent. As long as it's not going to be hard, because if it was as much paperwork as I had to do to get in here, I think I'd just die of starvation instead. So yeah, I'm going to go do that. Thank you for your help. Yeah.
No, it's, paperwork is
terrible.
He taps his documentation-filled bag.
I mean, if you enjoy it, no judgment.
Well, one of the necessary evils of society.
At least you acknowledge it's evil. That makes me like you.
But it's all important to keep it going. In fact, why don't I walk you over to the bureau?
Sure. What's your name? And thank you for walking me over. That's very sweet.
Oh, not a problem. My name is Chalk.
I'm sorry. What was that, Jason Phelps? Could you pronounce that in full for me so I can write? What the
Tilg. I'm told that
how do you spell that, Tilg?
Oh, well, apparently the J is supposed to be silent and it's just Torg. But I've always liked to say it as Tiorg. Sort of T-J-O-R-G type of thing.
You should have just said as it sounds, you coward.
Tiorg.
Yes.
Right. Sorry, out of character, my brain was like, I just flat out don't know what that letter is at the start.
Borgson. Although the Borg does have it, although the J is silent in Borgson.
Oh, right, yeah, but...
As my father didn't believe in saying the J.
Right. So you have two names, both of which have a silly J in them, and one of them's silent and one of them isn't. I love it. Chog Borgson, that's fun to say. What an excellent name. I've not made you make up a name in ages. That was excellent. Now, I'm going to take him everywhere with me. Now he's my best friend is Chog Borgson. So what do you do, Chog Borgson?
Oh, well, as you might have guessed...
I mean, paperwork, but
I'm an administrator.
Oh, you're an administrator. Yes. You have my admiration,
I don't
honestly.
work for the... private, I don't work for the Bureau.
Right. What kind of things do you administrate?
Finances, mostly.
Things. Cool.
I work in the central... here in the centre of the city. It happens I am taking a bit of a late lunch, and you certainly caught my interest. But yes, your basic dailies will get you basic dailies. If you've got any work placement sorted out, then you can spend credits on something a little bit more pleasant, really.
Oh, I'm kind of trying to save my credits right now.
Ah, of course, saving up for citizenship. Yes.
Yeah. No, we did get some good work placements today, so I think we were quite lucky on that front, me and my friends. We all got put in different places because we've got slightly different skills. But,
Right. No, that makes a measure of sense.
Yeah, I did I did all of this, actually. I gesture it. I'm going to say there's a fucking poster next to us that's singing or some shit.
Oh, good gravy. That was you.
Yeah. It took, 10 minutes? It's hard work.
Oh, you're... Well, of course, you're a magician. Highly skilled work.
I forget that you don't have a lot of magicians here, do you?
Does
Not that I'm like usual where I come from, particularly. I'm definitely still weird, but it's less weird to be a mage.
It's certainly... Well, it's a highly skilled field and limited training opportunities. There, a lot of it gets...
Fair, it's a lot of years of training if you're going to be a wizard, so...
Well, indeed. So, I've put in a request or two here and there for before the officer at the Inns of Magic. That's the word I was looking for. But
the Inns of Magic.
Yes.
What are those then?
So
I'm new at everything on how it works. It's very different to where I come from.
Well, most mages operate independently, but they rely on the inns. They use the inns as a sort of place where work is. People ask for work via the inns, essentially job postings, and then individual mages who are registered as part of that inn will come and take up that particular bit of work and carry it out.
Fair enough.
Receive payment with the inn taking a cut. And yes, this is absolutely how the British legal system works for barristers, even.
Yep.
Yeah. The Inns of Court is a wild fucking system.
I do not know the ins and outs of
Hey,
I was vaguely aware
that
of the ins,
rubbish.
but not the
I'm
outs.
sorry.
barristers are functionally self-employed, and the Inns of Court are their agents.
Right. That's quite weird and interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those weird historical
Interesting.
system. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm really tired today, so the pun brain is just like la la la.
Clearly. Okay, so you to cut a potentially lengthy story short.
I'll go with Chorg Borgson.
For the sake
wherever we're going.
of sanity, yes. You and Kjog Borgson head to...
Oh, it's a good weird name, isn't it?
Yeah. Head to the local bureau, which feels like a miniature version of the of this sort of huge sort of bureau or state offices that you
Take
were
me away.
at that you came in through. A somewhat dull series encounter later.
I get so weird during it.
Are provided with a essentially a short-term script, which you notice is basically a sheet of paper with a temporary citizenship marker, which marks you not as a citizen, but has visitor clearly marked on it. Along with your name, name, species, and country, and you're actually asked for country of origin.
Or two.
Yeah, that's noted down. And you...
Is that my country of origin, or is my... That's not a country, is it? It's a city.
Wouldn't it be Ariadne?
Ariadne, yeah. My brain was going, Arachne. I was like, that's not right. It's like, is it Arachne? I'm like, it isn't. It's not quite the right word. Come on.
Yeah, you are marked down neatly as Ariadne, province of Utu. And provided with a script which basically has a pair of checkboxes all the way down it, up to 30 of them, with places to stamp, literally just marked food, lodging, and then there are a couple of extra. There's a small bar at the bottom with individual one-off markings for clothing and various other utility goods that are needed for basic survival,
basic life things.
Yes. Since one of the questions amongst the questions that are asked after putting your race down as elf, I suppose in this case species down as elf, it would be you are politely but nevertheless asked by the bureaucrat. Thank you. Are you currently in the midst of your red years, or are you expecting them anytime soon?
Oh, out of character, when do those happen?
Like once a century for a solid decade.
Cool, so definitely not.
Yeah.
Weird question, but no.
Okay, then you are not eligible for the free sanitary products because you don't need them. Because obviously those should be provided as part of your basic.
They should be free, yeah.
Yes.
Because they're needed for basic survival.
But fortunately, as an elf, you don't need to deal with that.
Also, the only sane reason to ask a stranger that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were marked down human, they would have just come automatically.
They would have just been on the script. Yeah.
But yes, this having this basically been done, you're essentially instructed that most of the that you can take this to any vendor with the appropriate products is obligated to provide you with basic quantities that meet the state's minimum requirements. For anything, and you're informed as a visitor that luxury goods are charged according to the rates of the market.
Cool.
After a little idle conversation with Tjorg Borgsen,
He's such a good friend. He stayed with me for all my paperwork.
Basically,
I love him.
Good
old Chorg.
Yeah, Chorg basically just keeps you entertained during some of the waiting bits.
I'm extremely thankful.
Before giving his apologies and heading back to work, you end up making your way to the Horse and Pony. So I'm going to say that Celestia, you arrive not long before Scamp, and soon after Corzin. Li-Sheng has not arrived. Will not be arriving for the better part of another hour yet. So you have
the
time.
Horse and Pony is where we were just meeting.
Yes,
and the Looking Glass is where we're having dinner.
Indeed, looking at your evening.
Rosewood is where the play.
The Rosewood is where the play is. It's at 7:30.
Yeah.
After the play, you have a reservation at 10 at the Looking Glass in the evening.
Cool. What I wanted to do, and we got caught up in Chorg Borgsen and his paperwork, I wanted to sit and have some basic dailies and see, how happy people look in there.
Okay.
But just get a basic meal and just sit and listen to people.
Yeah.
Get an idea of.
In which case,
is this nice?
You can arrive at the Horse and Pony much earlier.
Yeah.
Because
do they do basics? Yeah.
Yep, they do basics.
Cool.
And in fact, you can't get into a lot of the fancy coffee shops and so on because you don't have Grade 2 passports.
Not a citizen, yeah.
You don't have Grade 2 citizenship in the very centre of town. So Horse and Pony seems as good a place as any. And indeed, you find it's open to. It doesn't have citizenship requirements on it, and you find yourself at a clean but fairly straightforward seeming eatery and tavern. The tables are basic and wooden. The clientele seems to be a mixture of lower grade clerks, mid-grade professionals, and those day labourers and day sort of labourers or tradespeople who have either finished early or are working a night shift and have come in to get something before the evening begins. The bartender, a human woman named Lita, just put that down, who is with curly brown hair, and just one of those unoppressible, cheerful smiles. Greets you at the bar. Right. Hello there.
Hello.
How can I help you?
It's my first time getting basic dailies. I've got a script, which is a new word to me.
Visit. Oh, you're a visitor.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, just in case you have you managed to get any day work yet? Or?
Yes, I've done that. Yes.
Right. And you've been paid
Yes.
as well? Okay. So I'm just
I
going.
have been paid, haven't I?
You have been paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pop the. Are you literate?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, in which case,
All good things, eh? Paid, literate, good day.
Sorry, we understand that people who aren't. I've always heard that people who aren't raised in the city.
That's a good question.
Don't know how to read.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be snippy.
No.
Some people can't. Depends where you're from.
I'm going to settle on this accent now. There we go. Well,
She's gone on a little trip.
Yes, went on a little trip because I didn't.
She
write
needed
it
a little
down.
journey before she settled down. It's fine. We're not judging her.
So she hands you. Right, I've got a menu. Well, I'm going to put a paid menu here as well.
Thank you.
Basic dailies. Any diet. Right. Are you? Do you have anything you can't eat?
No, I think so.
Easy.
Elk meat. I can't eat that. I'm allergic.
Okay, elk meat. Well, that wasn't going. I don't think we either have that on the menu or.
Lovely. It doesn't come up much, but you never know. Do you check for this? Why am I pretending this is a real allergy and talking about it like it's one?
But I'll see what. But yes, here. And do you need? And I notice your lodging stamp hasn't been marked. So do you?
This is my first day. Probably actually.
So,
I don't know where we're staying.
That's all right. So in terms of basics, while I can do you rooms at paid rates. If you want me to stamp off your basic lodging, it'll be bedroll, blanket, and pillow in front of the hearth fire.
Yeah, cracking.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Stamp marks that. Stamps something into a little book behind the table. Stamps your basic daily as same and goes steps away. You kind of look at the menu. Most of the menu items are priced interestingly in hours.
Ooh. Like hours it took to cook them.
Well, it seems you realise suddenly that the lowest coinage you've been given is a day. But then you realize you quickly put together from context that that most people are getting paid in hourlies, like paid in hours, and you can subdivide days into hours. So it looks like a lot, like, and you can see that like a glass of wine, like a small glass of wine, might cost you, of nice wine might cost you 2 hours. Whereas a big jug of beer is going to cost you 1, and you're getting meals sort of priced at different levels as well. She does return with a large jug of, as far as you can tell, clean water, and a bowl of. It looks to be essentially like a fairly basic broth, thick, heavy on the root vegetables. A little bit of. It looks to be like it's done in beef broth, so it has the flavor of meat, but you don't think there's any meat in. There's any meat in here. They are there are some. Sort of pickled cabbage that's gone in, and a very sort of basic set of. It's not like old bread, but it's not like fresh bread either. This feels
slightly stiff.
It's quite it's a little older. It's like maybe a day old, a day stale, and it's quite thick. The roll is small but dense. She says, right. So you get that, and you can. That's one of your three basics. For food wise, you can get another one. You can get one more in the morning, and one in the middle of the day as well.
Oh, thank you.
And anything else, I invite you to let me know. And there's the menu.
Thank you. What's your name?
Lita.
Celestia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Now, if you'll excuse me a moment. Yes. Hello.
Yeah, carry on. Thanks for your help.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, listen, if anyone looks amenable to it, maybe have a chat to them. Like, yeah, just try and get an idea of general happiness. Dirty 20.
Okay. You listen, you talk to people, you get a sense of happiness. You get, so the overall feeling that you get is, this much that the state claims appears to be true. No one is starving. No one is unhoused.
It's not a big deal.
Which is a big deal, actually.
But, like, it's a big deal for Ellie now, but it's also a big deal. It's probably an even bigger deal for, like, their time period, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hugely.
To the point where, when you raise this as a question, so you get reactions between amusement to actually offended by the idea that the state, that as a society, they wouldn't provide this.
It's just, like, really a given.
Though you do, though there is an offhanded comment that that leads you to understand that this is that's the sort of lifestyle expectation that they associate with the lawless, with people who exist, with those. And it seems like only a handful in the perception of most people of people who exist outside of the state are like people seem to have this. Generally, people seem to have this idea that it's some sort of horrifying wasteland. That said, this society, you get the feeling that there is definitely stratification as well. The basic dailies will keep you fed and clothed and housed, but to the very minimum standard. It sounds like more permanent lodging situations that rely on basic dailies do essentially come down to flop houses.
What houses?
Flop houses, which is a term for sort of an old sailor's term for basically you rent a space on the floor,
right?
On the cheap,
or a hammock or something. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Flop house is it's a space on the floor and it's extra for a blanket or a mattress.
Cool.
The blanket is provided, but
they'll have
usually
a roof on basic dailies.
Yeah, basically. But it doesn't necessarily need to be a good roof. You will get. There are apparently basic and different places. You get a feeling from talking to some of the day labourers, especially, different places are more or less generous with the basic dailies in terms of whether they add, what else they add. Technically, like the the beef broth isn't a requirement. So some places you will essentially get they'll basically just give you a small bag of root vegetables,
right?
And and point you to the well to get free water. So there's
like a hierarchy within what a basic daily is, almost. Yeah.
The feeling you get is that what a basic daily is beyond the strictly mandated minimums. There's a certain amount of mercy of interpretation going on there. Because while and asking more about this, it sounds like the city does check, but it requires people to report and get bureaucrats to come in and do the checking.
Yeah.
So there are risks there as well.
Without getting too miserable about it, any system that relies on reporting of the people who've been wronged can be a bit iffy, can't it? Because there could be all manner of layers of scary things going on there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And while you don't get, while frankly, because you're a stranger, you don't get absolute horror stories. You get the feeling that practically a lot of people's daily credits go towards meeting the actual minimum on the lowest level. On the sort of grade level. Because you don't want a
small bag of root vegetables for dinner because you'll still be hungry. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's the threshold of the basic dailies is you won't starve and you won't freeze, but going higher requires more. Interestingly, those who are better off have different attitudes as to why this is, and some of the people who are labouring have different attitudes as to why it is. A common refrain you hear is a common argument you hear is that you have to work and it gives an incentive.
An incentive for what?
Well, it gives you to get in and do more. You know, if I do more hours, I get more out. I get paid more hours, so I get to better my stats and have more things. And
Oh, lucky you.
yeah. And plus, it's nice if I can do whatever I wanted. Like, I don't have a family yet, but if I get lucky, then maybe I will, and that extra time might let me pay for some of the sort of some specialist sort of training type things for a kid beyond the basic schooling, and or I might
You might have a big fancy wedding or something.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
A new system for me. Very interesting.
Oh yeah. You're one of them visitors.
Yeah,
Not gonna kill us
wild
all.
visitors. That's not the plan. I hope not.
Good. Just wanted to check.
Get some really scary visitors or something, because everyone's terrified when I say I'm a visitor, and I've been nothing but nice so far.
Oh yeah, you seem like one of the good ones. It's just you hear the stories about them coming in and trying to conquer the city and killing everyone.
Oh fuck no, we're not the conquering and murdering type.
Good. 'Cause
Well, I mean, no.
thank the law, because we got the enforcers and the defenders for if that ever happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. I'm glad to hear you just.
Passing through.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working on, getting enough citizenship to leave. That's the current project, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe you'll like it
very
and
nice
stay.
place you've got here. Anything, no judgment or whatever. But yeah.
Oh no, people do stay. My grandfather was a visitor.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is he from then?
Oh, there's some place called what was it? Orky Rest.
Oh, Orcris. Yeah. I've never been
that was
myself.
it. No.
I know where it is. I've never been. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. He was a
Not been on that
soldier.
side of the
Came in with a big army, tried to conquer the place, and
Right.
some of them got driven off into the wilderness, and that was the end of them.
Shit.
And then the rest of them, some of them went on when they got enough credits. But my grandpa, he decided to settle down. along with
What was his name?
My granddad's name.
Yeah, I'm just curious if I've heard about him. If he had a big army and stuff,
Hey, you never know. Yeah, sure. Actually, just so happens, same name as me.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Greyeye.
Peter
Greyeye the Third.
Peter Greyeye the Third.
Yeah. And you can see that the grey-skinned and indeed grey-eyed
Would that be like... Nah.
No, you've never heard of...
Never heard of him.
No, not related to Black Tusk or anyone else.
Yeah,
anyway.
no.
Nor Peter the Coffee NPC.
Yeah, no, just
Imagine he's like a descendant. They're both descendants. I don't think Peter's an orc, is he though? He's just a he's just a weird little guy.
Yeah. But
He's
no.
just a little guy.
He's just a little guy who doesn't know what the hell's going on.
But no, these after but yeah, that's the general that's kind of your general feeling of the
fair.
situation. So there's you definitely get a read on the system as a whole. Citizenship, higher grades of citizenship are bought with citizenship credits, and asking through you find that those credits get fairly steep. actually, with basic citizenship costing 30 days of credits, and usually, actually, and you also get to find out that most people, technically, you can get citizenship at any age, but usually it's become custom for people to get citizenship at or around 15 for humans and similarly lived species. But technically, like, you could get if you can afford it and complete like some very basic tests, you could become a citizen at 6. You probably shouldn't, but you
could. Yeah.
Usually, children though are just covered by like parents. It costs a month of credits to become a citizen. Grade 1. Grade 2 costs. I've got this down as. Grade 2 costs a year, and grade 3 costs 5 years.
Well, what do we need?
A single. In order to get a single grade 4 passport, to allow one person to carry all of the magic items,
right?
And thus without while being legally allowed to pass, that will require one person to get grade 3 citizenship.
So one of us would need grade 3.
Only one of you needs grade 3 citizenship.
I'm sorry, like the citizenship and passports is just like because they're different numbers.
I'm going to say
how does that
work? That's Jason didn't think properly through the number, how confusing that numerical system would be. Or maybe he did and was feeling sadistic about bureaucracy.
That's okay, but the player need it written down.
Right. Basically, you need to get a grade 3 citizenship.
Okay, cool.
But if
you're going to talk about the passport, I would like it written
5
down.
years.
Okay.
We need 5 years worth to get the passport we need.
Yes, you need 5 years of citizenship credits to get the top grade passport.
Oh, well, we need 6 years then, because we need to get grade 2 in order to get through grade 3.
You can.
Can you buy a grade 3 all at once, or like?
Actually, yes. No, you're right. You would need 6 years. My apologies.
Okay. So I hear this news.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that's a lot.
Well, yeah, usually something you work towards that for grading up though for a number of years.
How many months is that? That would be 6 years in months. How many months are in a Calcinian year?
12.
12, so same number.
6 by 12 is 72 plus 1 for the month for grade 4, for the basic citizenship. So yeah, 73 months.
So, right. Celestia just quietly has a little moment at the fact that they'd have to do what they did today 73 times to legally get out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, hey, you seem like I've heard stories about people managing, well, usually visitors managing that sort of stuff way faster.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also there's crazy stuff. I mean, I hear there's still an outstanding. I mean, really crazy stuff, like the bounties, that sort of thing.
Bounties?
Yeah. I heard about it once from a friend of mine who's in the Defenders. They'll offer whole bunches of credits for people who go out into the wilderness and bring back interesting, kill monsters and bring back the parts.
Right.
As far as I know, there's still that one, the big one that's outstanding.
The big one?
Yeah. There's a bounty worth 10 years of credits. Well, there was
What's that for then?
Oh, well, there was that. basically there was that one magistrate who turned out to have broken the law, like years and years back, and they managed to get out of the city and into the wilds, and they took their edict with them. So there's a big bounty on getting the edict back.
What edict was it?
I mean, just
Oh, they're like they're
points
all...
to his chest.
Right. So I forget all the terms for things. It's my first day.
Yeah. So
Just a little guy, and it's my first day. Literally what I'm doing to people. What did he do then? What did they do? I don't know what I'm saying. Did you say he? Was that right? Or I just made that up?
I don't really remember the gender.
Oh, they. What did they do?
Well, they broke the law.
But like, what did they do? You know?
No.
What was the crime? In what way did they break the law? What law did they break?
Are there different things? Some people say it was like. Some people say they stole. Some people say that they killed someone. The point is, they break the law.
Right. That's the bit that matters. Yep. Cool.
Yeah. No. Magistrates swear never to break the law. Like, that's kind of why we trust them.
Yeah, no, I guess that makes sense. Definitely. Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, thanks for chatting. I should.
That's all right. Thanks for answering my weird questions. It's a lot to get your head around when, you know.
Oh well, good. Best of
Different
luck
hair
with
and
the,
stuff. I'm playing like stupid a lot
yeah.
during all these conversations. Like I'm pretending I've picked up nothing in the whole time I've been here to get people to like talk to me, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, best of luck with citizenship and.
Thanks.
Yeah. Not long after this, Scamp, and shortly thereafter, Corzin, you walk in and see Celestia
Giving you like significant glance.
Yeah, with the remnants of a bowl of a bowl of stew and some water. Lita cheerfully refills your water whenever you want it.
Aww. Lita's nice. We like Lita.
Good to see a friendly face.
Yep.
Hello.
Would you like to guess how many credits we need for the passport we need?
A lot
Is
more
it a
than we currently
stupid
have.
amount?
Yeah, it is. And any takers for a guess? Bearing in mind that we all did a month today, right?
Yeah, thereabouts. I mean, judging by this, and Corzin will take out what he has been paid today. It's like, there's no way we're getting out of here anytime soon, is there?
I mean, there is, just not in the way they'd like us to.
How much is it?
6 years.
Right.
Right, figures.
So that
So
would
that's
be.
like
So
what?
if we continued working at this pace, that would be 73 days. Which I'm not doing.
Yeah, but that's if one of us kept working at this pace.
True.
But there's 4 of us who are doing it, so that's like 18 days.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
that's
thing occurred
not
to me on
as
the way over
insane.
here.
I mean, there are bounties apparently that are for a lot more.
Really?
I could just build houses for 18 days. I suppose we don't know what time's like outside of here. I can't really, can I?
18 days is a long time to be in this weird place.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am acutely aware that just before we came in here, I said to Molly that we'd be in touch soon. I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah. Okay, let's find a way of doing it faster.
Yeah.
Well, a thing occurred to me on the way over here. We just recently learned how to conjure lots of people at once. Could we do that and have them do the work if they know what we know?
You are smart.
Oh yeah, how long's that last? I wrote it down somewhere.
I can't
I think it's
conjure
an
lots
hour.
of people at once. I can only do one, but you can do lots of people at once.
2 of us can. Would it still? I mean, technically, it's magic. It's under our control. We are directing them. They're doing the work based on our expertise.
They couldn't do it without you, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to spend the money, even if you pay them. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that is actually a valid approach.
Yeah. And from what I heard, the only way to make it like solo quicker is bounties. There's monster parts, or there's the big one, which is a magistrate who broke the law, who I'm kind of impressed by, and I'm not sure I'd want to turn into the authorities if we found them.
The going to say at this point, the next of your companions enters, which is Victory, who, seeing you there, kind of pulls up, like sulks over, pulls a chair out, and sits down with a little bit of a half folding her arms and slumping on the table.
Rough day.
Without asking, Corzin is just going to go, that bad, huh?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to guess how much I made today?
Go on.
Do tell.
She holds up a hand with her thumb and index finger together to make a little 0.
What? How?
What
What
happened?
Happened? Can we report that? Why did somebody not pay you?
They paid me. I just... Frankly, I lost my temper.
Oh, what did you do?
Collateral
No
damage.
judgment, by the way. I'm
So-
amazed that none of the rest of us have.
So I spent the day basically just conjuring giant blocks of ice or moving water, trying to do everything I could to help plough these fields. First of all, turns out the fields are already pretty irrigated. It took me a while to figure out that I could to work out how to use moving the water in a way that would actually do, channeling of earth. I caused quite a lot of accidental damage with the hailstones, so that didn't work so well. Anyway, a lot of what I can do is fundamentally based around combat.
Yep.
And breaking things. That was... So that didn't work so well. And then after that... and at the end of the day, the overseer said that with everything that I'd done with the damage and what I'd managed to put out of it, I'd basically done a day's work. So she gave me 8 of those 8 hours of credits, and that's when I lost my temper.
That seems fair.
So when her back was turned, I tried to steal a pen.
Oh.
Yeah, so lowers the voice. So first of all, if you steal something, it burns for as long as you're holding it.
Wow.
Keeps burning if you put it in your pocket. Didn't seem. I tried to, and yes. Also, if you put it inside inside a little bag of holding, holdy type bag pocket, that as well. And then I kept holding on to it, and after a while, it just started whistling like a kettle.
Wow.
So I tried to put it back down, and then one of those enforcers arrived, the big knighty types, who it turns out, they just start homing in on crimes when they happen.
Right, they can just hear them or whatever.
Yeah, I think everyone heard the kettle. And I didn't want to get in more trouble, so I didn't try to resist. They just asked me to stay put, and then the magistrate turned up, and
Shit.
and he had one of those big thing and sort of took that little plate on a necklace and seemed to rub it out and rewrite you're not permitted to lie on it, and asked me what had happened, asked me, everyone pretty much pointed at me, and I had to admit that I'd stolen it, but I put it back. Anyway, he said that he was issuing me an on-the-spot fine, but was going to reduce it on the grounds that I was under 15, and also I had literally nothing else to find me with.
Yeah.
And then he gave the money to the overseer because she was the injured party, which I guess is fair. She kind of puts out a bottom lip, which quivers a little in anger. And you see another chair gets pulled out, and a figure wearing some quite nice, fashionable, moderately fashionable grey robes, tosses a handful of I say a handful as well, like probably close to 10 hour coins on the table, and says, well, drinks are on me then. Yeah, wine over here, thank you. Shanty takes a seat.
How'd things go for you, Shanty?
I mean, it was seemingly well. His get-up's
Yeah,
fabulous.
I've still got 5 days credits left after buying drinks.
Look at you. What did you do
Impressive.
today?
Oh, I did fraud.
How did you do a fraud?
So, fun fact, I spent a month as a con artist once.
Oh, very nice.
You're a being of many talents.
Enjoyable month?
I mean, I enjoyed it when I was her, yeah.
Sorry, that was probably insensitive.
No,
You
it's fine.
mentioned that we're pirates because you might actually be kind of an asset with that kind of attitude.
Well, I mean, like, everything before that point in my life was an entire fiction, but I do remember actually being, that month actually happening. So, and it turns out that I picked up a few skills. One moment. Oh, yeah, thank you. The leader scoops up some coins and brings you all a wine, and Shanty kind of gestures to some slightly nicer options on the menu as well. And then once she's gone, Shanty throws back in. Yeah, so I really wanted to just figure out what the rules were, and how they were enforced. So I spent the first first hour or two, just I like, you know, Lee Sean was going to try and set me up with some work, and I just asked if I'd be all right to asked a bit about, you know, stuff, found out about the basic dailies, got a script, and just asked if I could walk around and explore the city a bit. Said that I was considering maybe actually sticking around. She said, all right, and to meet you back here. So I just spent the first hour or two asking questions, getting to know the place, and then once I figured out what was what, I went to one of those Inns of Magic and had a chat with them. Very nice lady at the desk. Said that I'd never actually seen what a mage's license looked like, and she let me have a look. And then something happened that she had to turn around for a moment, and Shanty flicks out of her sleeve her phone, and you can see on it there is an image of a mage's license.
Huh.
So, fun fact.
Oh, you're gonna fit in well here.
Fun fact: one of the apps that's loaded onto this thing is is a whole set of things called prestidigitation.
Oh, I think I could do that one.
Yeah. And one of the things you can do is and she sort of flicks on it for a moment, taps the thing. And then you see the phone seems to turn into, just for a few seconds, an image of the license.
The whole phone turns
The
into
whole
one.
phone turns into a replica of the license.
Oh, wow.
Because one of the things you can do with prestidigitation is you can create an illusory replica that can fit into your hand of a thing
You
that
can,
only lasts for a few seconds. Anyway, at that point, I went through the job board, picked ones that I could do with just the magic on my phone, and did a whole bunch of odd jobs.
Well done.
I didn't. Listen, I never had the training sort of put into me, or I guess if I did have it put into me, it didn't stick, or I didn't spend enough time actually learning it.
What do you mean put into you?
To do with the to do like. There's a lot of spells in here that I can tell I need to almost like charge them up or prep them, or they're sort of half complete. They're meant to be done with an actually trained wizard using them. But a lot of stuff practically casts itself if you're willing to spend 10 minutes or so doing it through these pre-arranged settings. And there's a bunch of ones that are simple enough that I can do it without draining the phone.
I like with my spell book, like when I do this in my colouring book, like ritually stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Skimming through the Shanti gives you a quick breakdown. It looks like she can cast cantrips and rituals only through the phone.
That's fun.
But anyway, yeah, I basically just did a bunch of jobs. Mages get paid stupid money. Traded up, got some very basic robes with my daily, and then traded up to these ones after the third job. And yeah, I've just been wandering around. I've basically just been doing a lot of stuff that I could do with cantrips, rituals. I just spent 2 hours at a birthday party for some rich kid with one of them.
What, being like a clown?
It pretty much, yeah.
Impressive.
Anyway, and mending.
How do you get a mage's license like properly?
Mending's good shit. I wish I'd learned that one.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, learning's, I don't know. It just sort of happens for me. It's different.
At the end of the day, though, a lot of it was just picking up 4 hours, as it were, for 10 minutes work. And
I mean,
going between places.
Small round of applause for you. You did well. It's a good con.
It is. I wouldn't try and carry it on long term.
I suppose it relies on you not actually having stolen anything. That's the difference, isn't it?
Well, that seems to be the thing, because it's absolutely illegal for me to impersonate a licensed member of the mages of court, of an inn mage.
But there's also not really a way for them to detect it, right?
Yeah, like. I reckon if I tried to steal from someone or injure someone, whatever magic's up around the city would catch me in an instant. But
So
what's
you
to stop you just registering? You are doing the magic.
Yeah.
If you can make lots of money doing that, we could get money. Like we could do that fast then, if we can register easily.
Maybe.
Sounds to me like registration is a closed club there, but only if you're impersonate. But that's the thing. Only if you're like you lot have presumably done a bunch of magic today, and there's no. Yeah. It doesn't sound like there's any law against you doing magic.
No,
it doesn't seem to
just
be.
Taking the jobs.
Yeah, it's the law is against you impersonating someone with a license.
Yeah.
Right, so we couldn't just sidle up to a magistrate, steal the edict off them, and then suddenly, because we have it, we count as a magistrate.
I mean, I think the theft would get you, but I guess if you stole, maybe if they were somewhere I guess if out in, sounds like the law doesn't apply in the wilderness. It doesn't extend beyond the boundaries of the city. So I guess if you could trick a magistrate into going out there and mug him.
Right. Well, what happened to Victory makes me think that this whole place has to be warded somehow. If you literally cannot commit an act without there being magical consequences of it.
I mean, the place was made by a sorcerer. You just decide you want that when you're making it.
Yeah, and I mean, if your whole thing's the law bearer.
It's more of the fact of, like, it's not like Porto Ormosidia where you have to sign that you are agreeing to the law.
Yeah, but if they literally built the fabric of this place. They could have built it into it very easily. So, yeah.
So difficult to subvert is the point.
Yeah.
But clearly not impossible. And also,
I mean, you've sort of sidestepped it.
Yeah.
That's how you've done it. You've managed not to touch it. If you'd touched it at any point, the alarm would have gone off, but you didn't. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh.
Whereas Victory did. So that's why... Yeah, that's why that didn't work.
I did actually spot well, technically, it was there under there is a contract for it during the from the inns, but it's one that's been put in from the city rather than a private request. So maybe it's something we could maybe there's something we could negotiate with there. But the biggest request on the board actually had a payout. Actually had had an 8-year payout on it.
What was that?
Divert a river.
Divert a river.
Yeah.
Could we do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scamp,
Yeah,
could
cool.
you do
Yeah,
that?
I mean, you can, can't you?
Yeah. I was curious about that.
How big a river? Where divert where?
Well,
I say yeah, probably.
I had a chat with the clerk. Yeah, apparently they, in order to expand the city out a bit more, they need new water. They need more access to water. So they've got a request to try and divert a river out to over to towards the city. They've got a location. They had some maps. They had a location in mind. Only problem is, it's the point that they need to do the diversion at is smack in the middle of the wilderness.
Oh, and the wilderness is scary because of all the lawless people there. That makes sense. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, they said there's monsters.
Oh, so it's hazard pay.
Yeah, they did.
basically.
Somebody did mention monsters to me actually as well. Yeah. I mean, we've done monsters before.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
we
think
can do
perhaps
that.
around here we might be uniquely qualified for
The
that.
lawless, I'm sure we get on very well with, to be honest.
I mean, let's be real. The lawless, until very recently, were us.
Oh yeah. There's probably more like us than most people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely I think we should be keeping our eye on big payout jobs like that, because seemingly...
I mean, we should
they're-
do that. We should go and do it
We just go do that one.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
As a group.
That's enough. Yeah, like that new spell what we learnt with making all the people. Even if we get there and all that needs doing is like a bit of digging, I
Yeah.
can make a lot of people to help with digging.
Yeah, there are some jobs that, like, it really does pay to just have more people.
Like how many can you do, Corzin, with that new one? What's your highest spell level?
At this
My
point,
highest spell level is 4, currently.
Okay, so you can make 8 people.
at this point,
I can make 32.
I can do one really good one.
24.
Victory smacks her forehead as you say this. Oh shit! I could have done that.
Yeah. I didn't think of that either.
Oh, that
I built
would
a
be
bunch of houses today.
You know, if it
Why
makes you
don't
feel any
I just
better,
build
I only thought of
houses?
that, I only thought of
Why
that
do I
after
spend
8
so much-
hours of work.
Like, why do we spend so much time blowing things up when I could just build houses all day?
Did you like building houses then?
I did like building houses.
Well, we'll have to find you more chances then.
I could build a sweet shop.
Oh, you'd run a great sweet shop.
Yeah. I could do 24 as well. Thinking about it.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
between us we've got, like...
For an hour anyway, but yeah.
Between us we've got the crew of a brig. Like, that's a
decent.
reasonable amount of working people.
Yeah. Also, I could just reverse some gravity, or I could make an earthquake. That also would help.
Yeah, situationally, I'm sure that would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, for like that redirecting rivers, that could turn out to be a really handy thing.
Yeah, with gravity, yeah. I mean,
Or just like shaping the stone, telekinesis. There's a lot of potentially really useful stuff for redirecting rivers.
Yeah.
And if Corzin can keep us safe while we're doing it, because I don't think you're really the right person to redirect a river, but in terms of keeping the nasty monsters away, there's few people better at killing things.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like as a team, I think that job could work.
Yeah.
If it's really dangerous, having all of us is only of benefit, really, isn't it?
And I'm one person with the eyes of many.
Also, like, being all separated today kind of sucked. I didn't like not knowing where you all were. You could have been anywhere in any sort of trouble. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Shanty says, honestly, I find it quite refreshing to go out on my own for a while.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I can't.
I'm glad you had a good day.
Yeah, no offence, but you're all phenomenally powerful people, and it's just nice to go out and do something for myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really been able to like buy you all drinks up to this point.
Yeah,
'cause,
thank you, by the way. It's really
it's fine.
kind.
Yeah, appreciate it. Cheers.
Clink glasses. As you do so, more people are kind of moving in. Can I ask everyone for an insight check, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
22.
Brilliant. What are we at these days? Insight.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Just 16.
Celestia and Corzin. Amongst the various group people who come in and as the bar starts picking up, the pair of you notice one figure who you've seen earlier in the day come in, which is you spot again the grey hold up, just grab this. You spot again the orcish figure. Dang, where is it? Here we go. An orcish, the half orc woman with grey, a half orc woman with grey yellow skin and black hair, in a slate grey coat, accompanied by a bloodhound. Scamp, you don't see this immediately. Celestia, you remember this figure looking up at you when you were casting magic.
Oh, yeah.
Corzin,
yeah, no, I do
you
remember,
remember
actually.
this figure
Sad.
bringing in the halfling whose leg you
Right,
stitched
yeah.
up. You set and healed. And they just whoever this person is, she just settles down in a corner and starts perusing a menu. But it's pretty clear to both of you with those insight checks that she's watching your party.
This lady
Okay.
staring at us.
What do we do this time?
Dunno, I mean, she was staring at me when I did magic earlier.
The Scamp, you kind of glance over. Are you... I suppose the question is, are any of you... do you indicate the person that you're looking at in any way? That you're referring to?
Why am I so dreadful? Do you know what?
I mean, I
wave
can't
at her.
imagine us being particularly subtle. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
okay.
definitely
I
wanted
wave
to
at her.
wave.
Okay, so you...
I take advantage of the fact I don't need to look at her to see her.
Yeah.
Hello.
Composure check. Okay, yes. Scamp, you look over, and you do see that the orc, an orc sitting on her own, a half-orc sitting on her own is look a little startled. Corzin, Celestia, you see that the little even the bloodhound seems to react to the fact that you are obviously
I
spotted.
messaged to her. Fancy seeing you here. Come and have a drink.
I just want to walk over and go, can I pet your dog, please?
Except that you can't, Scamp, because there is no dog.
What?
Oh, I don't see the dog.
You don't see a dog. You
Damn,
just
then
see.
I can't go over.
You just see.
I have less interest in this person.
You just see an orcish woman.
Wait a minute.
There.
Celestia, that's the first person I've seen here who has like a spirit wandering around.
We haven't said it's obvious
No,
that it's a spirit.
it's not obvious it's a spirit yet, but this is but
Because
yeah,
I don't know
Scamp
there's a dog.
can't see it, but we
Scamp
also
can't
haven't
see it,
mentioned
but you
it.
haven't
There's
established
not
the
really
dog
a way
yet.
for us to have oscillated that yet, I don't think.
But
Okay, right.
We haven't yet mentioned it. No one's yet mentioned the dog. But I will say, but to give you an opening for that, Shanty, who has not been looking, is like, sorry, which one is it?
The one with the dog.
What dog?
The dog, the bloodhound?
There's a dog? Where's the dog?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's next to her.
not a dog.
Huh.
Hang on. I'm going to send the rainbow spirit over.
The rainbow spirit.
And just wave in front of her and see if she reacts.
Raves in front of her, and she does her best not to, but the rainbow spirit gets right up her in her face, and you see her recoil a little,
It boops her nose and then it comes back.
and then glance at the dog, and the dog seems to look up at her with a sort of doggy expression of, yeah, we've been made.
Message again. Let's chat.
You see her sort of sigh and then stand up and start dragging herself over, signalling for a drink. And how that conversation goes, we will find out after these, no doubt important, messages.
Do you have what it takes to defend your society from chaos? The Law Bearers Administrative Department is always on the lookout for hard-working individuals. People who are ready to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others. Those who respond well to challenges and are not intimidated by the unknown. Join the Law Bearers Administrators today, because we're all on the list somewhere.
And welcome back. The grey-coated half-orc woman with grey-yellow skin and tied-back black hair hurries in both... manages to both hurry and try to play off nonchalantly her getting up and moving over to your table. Corzin, you notice underneath the folds of the coat there is a concealed saber and what looks to be a hand crossbow.
Okay,
that are,
noted.
as well as a small case of bolts that are hooked to her belt/trousers.
Was my belaying pin piece wrapped with the rest?
I mean, it's a length of wood, so
It's a tool.
Yeah, it wasn't really piece wrapped because it didn't have a bladed edge.
Fair. I don't anticipate combat, but I don't want to be breaking more rules about unsheathing weapons.
Indeed. The saber, in fairness, is sheathed, and the hand crossbow, while strung, is not loaded. Though notably, it is strung, so presumably she is at least somewhat on guard. I'm going to say that as she approaches, Shanty grabs a nearby stool, pulls it up, and shuffles aside, making space. And she takes a slightly awkward seat at your table.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Just another over here, please. Thank you. She says, gesturing to to Lita, the barmaid, who tosses a 1 hour coin on the table.
I take it this is not normally how these things go for you.
Yeah, is following people usually easier?
Well, that's an interesting question. You're easy to follow. You all stand out enough that I'm a little uncomfortable being seen here talking with you.
We are very embarrassing, that is fair.
I'm not. I'm very normal and ordinary.
That's true.
You are very noticeable, even without anything else. Her eyes flick up for a moment to the rainbow spirit and the ambivalent octopus.
I mean,
yeah, that's interesting.
There are a lot of
There's
people
not many...
who can see this stuff, aren't there?
No.
Yes, let's keep your voice down, please.
Okay.
About that, most.
Oh, is that heresy or something?
Never done a heresy before.
You're speaking like one of the cults. No, most people aren't really aware of us, and take it from me, it's probably a good idea to keep it that way.
All right. Would you be more comfortable if we talked somewhere else?
Yes. How long do you have? Shanti kind of thinks for a moment and says, we've probably got about half an hour before we need to be heading off to catch the play.
Yeah.
Right. Have you booked a room?
Yeah, I mean, only in a basic daily sense, but yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I've got a house that we can stay in.
You look, thinking about it, Scamp, the house in question is probably about 5 minutes walk from here.
It's just round the corner.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Freshly
the house that Scamp
built.
All right. Take 5 minutes. Let's just take 5 minutes. Finish our drinks. Oh, thank you. Takes the drink and she starts draining it reasonably quickly.
I'm sorry to have made you really uncomfortable, by the way. I didn't mean to have drawn attention to you.
That
You just seemed to be following us, so...
Yes, I was concerned for you and by you, and wanted to know more. Let's keep casual conversation for the next for a few minutes, just while we it'll look a bit suspicious if we all move as soon as I've sat down.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we are curious people, especially around here.
Yeah.
Yes, so I take it you're. Of course, you're visitors. Everyone's heard about the visitors by this point.
Yeah. So where do you fit into all of this? We're very new and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you do?
She pushes her coat aside, and you also can see the hilt of the saber, which is marked with a simple sort of shield with what looks to be a spear, or possibly I'd say like a spear, or maybe like a partisan or something. One of those it reminds you. It would remind you of the sort of Achene glaives, except it's a different style.
Okay.
Emblazoned on it. I'm a defender.
Oh right.
All right.
Oh, like a member of the militia?
Militia.
Oh, is that not a thing here?
We have no. It's what would the militia do?
Well, it's kind of been explained to me that defenders are like the the standing army, they protect the citizens from threats, both internal and external.
No, external. We watch the walls and the wilderness.
Right.
Enforcers and magistrates police internal threats.
Right.
They keep the law. She glances to the side for a moment, glances around for a moment, but there aren't any here. So, even so, people talk, and I suspect they have their blind spots.
Well, doesn't every, militia or equivalent?
Do they? I don't know. I was born here.
Oh, yeah.
Take it from us, generally, yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. The fact of the matter is, I'm obviously here because I'm curious, yes, it seems to be about the time fee that you'll need to be going on your way, and maybe I'll follow after you to keep asking you some more questions. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah?
Good.
Reasonable.
She
Sure.
drains her drink and puts it down.
What, vibe are we getting off her?
She seems...
I'm getting weirds, but I can't place them. Yeah.
She seems... She's watching the corner of her eyes a lot. She is uncomfortable. You get the feeling... Actually, roll an insight check, and let's see how much of kind of...
1. She's having a great day.
Can we all do that?
You can all do it. Celestia,
Okay.
yes, you're getting the weirds off.
I'm just something's weird, that's it, yeah.
Wow, okay. I don't
Maybe
think
she
any of
fancies
us got
me.
over a 10, have we?
I got a 10, so no.
It was a 7 for me.
Yeah, Corzin, also
Magnificent
weird.
for all of us.
Scamp. With a 10 at least, you get the feeling that while she's a little concerned by you, she's more... you get the feeling that, as she said, she's more concerned about being seen with you, or maybe being seen at all.
Okay.
I saw what you did with the after the mine collapse. She says to Corzin, that was
Well,
good,
only what I could.
and it's one of the reasons I felt more comfortable coming in saying hello. Scamp. She looks to you. Right. Let's head on our way. If you could... you said you could show us to where you're staying?
Yeah, there's some houses round the corner that are built today that we can stay in, apparently. Someone mentioned you have a dog. Can I pet your dog, please?
She smiles a little. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. You could...
You could probably wave your hand near the dog.
That will do.
Give it a try.
When we get to a place that's less obvious that I'm just being weird.
Of course. Come along.
But I would like to wave my hand vaguely over where your dog is, please.
I'm sure if you put your hand down by your side, maybe... Yes, okay. She looks down and you can't see, but the others can. The bloodhound sort of pads over and sort of vaguely nuzzles at Scamp's leg. Scamp, you don't feel any of this.
I'd act like I'm petting a dog, just slightly subtly. Am I doing it?
Right,
Yes.
left a bit.
Yep.
There you go. That's it.
It's cute.
Yay.
You pick yourselves up, finish your drinks and stews, and make your way without much conversation over towards the newly built houses. As promised, Scamp, you've essentially been loaned a key for the night. that will allow you to get into one of the new, albeit unfurnished, houses. You unlatch the door, step in, and close it behind you. With the, at this point, essentially sort of taking patches of floor, standing, leaning against walls in the what is essentially a sort of first floor living room slash use it for want of a better term, studio apartment.
Yeah.
Though
This is impressive, Scamp. Well done.
You make this today?
Yeah, and some of the other ones as well.
You're quite good at stuff. Do you know that?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
all I did was just clean up some fields.
friend did a lot of the work. But yeah, I like this one. This is a good one.
That's just cool. Build a fucking house in like 3 seconds. Hadn't really considered that.
You
Well, a bit longer, but yeah, quite quick.
you see the orc, the half orcish woman sort of. As soon as the door is secured, she kind of checks the windows. There are the curtains and so on still. Actually, no, you had textiles part of this. I'm going to say curtains were included because you could make them.
Wow.
So she draws the curtains closed enough that you're still getting a little light in from the outside because it's not quite dark yet, though it is darkening. And as soon as after a glance through, when she seems reasonably sure no one is watching, you see her shoulders sink a little.
Yeah, I'm getting a vibe, and I hadn't meant to out you as something when I called you out for following us.
That's okay. She
Had assumed that kind of we were probably the ones in danger, so yeah, sorry for that misconception.
Quite all right. No offense, but I don't think I could take you if you can build if you can build 2 houses in a day. She shakes her head and gives you a sort of fist against the side of her against one breast salute. Lobe, defender, fourth wall.
Hello, Celestia Stardust. Nice to meet you.
Corzin Horhace at your service.
Hello, I'm Scamp. What's your dog called, please?
The important questions.
I've always called him Sniffer.
That's
Oh, hello, Sniffer.
really sweet.
The
Kind of adorable.
Corzin and Celestia here.
Oh. Well, Sniffer's very cute.
Shanty and Shanty gives a nod. Shanty, today I'm a wait. You said that the enforcers prosecute the law. Do you have to report? Do you enforce the law? Do you report crimes? I should report crimes. Shanty, law-abiding citizen. Right. And I'm Victory, powerful sorcerer who is apparently no good at agricultural work.
You're just not made to be on the land.
Nah.
So, it says, Lobe frowns. You, the Horns, you're both magic. I mean...
Yeah, but we can't see the spirits.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
different
Not
kind of
that
magic.
So you're wizard.
Yeah.
So you're wizards, like the
No.
magicians.
We're something else. We're kind of like the law bearer, but not.
You see her not exactly recoil, but tense a little. So, when you say like the law bearer, but not,
Same kind of magic.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you mind telling us what exactly you're so frightened of? Because, not to be an arsehole about it, but you did sort of follow us for half the day, and what's happening?
Well, in all honesty, I saw your companions, the spirits.
Yeah,
and
fair.
part of me was curious. Part of me was concerned. I haven't seen spirits like that together outside of the wilderness cults, and I was concerned for everyone.
Right.
And I was also concerned. I'm telling this all wrong. She kind of massages her head. Sorry.
Right, take your time.
I've never really met visitors before, and this is
A lot.
yes.
Yeah, we're a lot.
I suppose we weren't quite what you expected.
Well, most of the stories you hear are either wonders or horrors, or people who came along with powerful magicians, as you are, but usually the ones who stay are the I guess you call them the hangers-on, the followers.
Not the one who's powering all the way in, yeah.
I haven't seen visitors before. I've really only been here for less than a decade or so. Looking at her, by the way, she looks to be, judging Orcish ages, late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
So you haven't lived here your whole life?
No.
Interesting.
You said you were born here.
I was. I was born here. I grew up here for a number of years. And when I was a child, I realised no one else was seeing what I was seeing.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, if you were the only one, that would be really disconcerting.
This place isn't massive, is it? It doesn't have a huge population.
Relatively speaking, but no.
I've heard there's as many as a million people in the city. It's hard to say how many there are. If you count all of the city, it's hard to say how many of us there are out in the wildlands. But no, until I left, I didn't find anyone else like me.
Right.
But well, I found Sniffer and I got to know each other very young, and I used to poke around places when I was younger.
Who didn't?
Yeah, I was curious. It's one of the reasons when I came back I trained to become a defender. But there were some places that Sniffer didn't want to go near. And there was one time when when I went somewhere and these people started following me, and I thought they were leading me into a trap in the city, which felt crazy at the time. After all, the city's safe, but I realized there were people leading me towards certain streets, and Sniffer didn't want to go.
Right.
And one thing led to another, and I ended up skipping the wall.
How do you mean skipping the wall?
I mean, I
Leaving the city.
snuck over and I ran
Okay.
into the wilds. And
Given everything else around here, I assume that usually you'd need some kind of paperwork in order to do that?
yes, normally only defenders can leave can head out beyond the walls without prior paperwork.
And you weren't a defender at that point?
No, I was... Back then I was 10, 11 maybe.
Huh.
It's a little hazy. I went into the wilds and found the groups there. It's just Sniffer and me for a long time. Eventually I came back because, well, I couldn't stay. I didn't want to live out there any longer. And there's no law against coming back to the city. You just have to reapply and get your citizenship.
Which takes ages anyway.
How long did it take you?
A month. I survived on the dailies just fine. Found work. I'm used to living on bare minimums pretty well.
Then you and Sniffer must make quite the team.
So those
we do.
people who Sniffer didn't want to go near, I don't know if you know, but what do you think they wanted?
I think they wanted Sniffer.
Like to take him away?
And maybe they
Away?
wanted me. I don't know. It's a long time ago and I didn't know much then, but I had an instinct for it, and Sniffer's always been better at reading people than I am.
There aren't many spirits around here, are there? Things
No.
like Sniffer.
No.
No.
Where do you think they go? If
Yeah,
you were
why
to
is that?
speculate.
I know where some of them go.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that
Where's that?
the ones that get smart enough or find someone like me, the ones like Sniffer, they head out into the wilds. There's groups of people out there. They follow them round. In time, they join up with a cult or found one, if they can. If they've got someone like me, it looks like that's where people like me go. But talking to others I've met out there, people like me in the city, spirits in the city, they vanish. Something in here is, I don't know, Sniffer thinks maybe they're eating them or something, or we don't know what's going on, but I came back to try and find out.
Thank you for
Okay.
telling us that.
Yes, because, where we come from, wherever there are people, there are these things.
Yeah, they're
Not everyone can see them, but they're there.
yeah, they're everywhere. They're just, I don't know, they're like bugs because there's that many of them. You know.
Strange. I suppose it makes a degree of sense. They always cluster after the different groups, the clans that are out that live out in the wilds. It would make sense if they're attracted to people,
Yeah,
and
that's how it's always worked.
well, they like people. Most of them cling close to a lot of people. Sniffer and I, we've gone band to band over the years, but usually they try and either they try and pull us into them, fold us in, make us. She shakes her head. The ones that don't just try to enslave us, try to make us think like them, or
I see.
act like them.
So these are the people that are taking the spirits, or the people outside the walls?
People outside the walls. I don't
Right.
know what's taking
Cults.
spirits inside the walls. You have to understand, the wilds are free. There's a saying that I grew up with that I didn't really understand when I was a kid, but I understood when I left the city. They say they say that law is the enemy of freedom, and that freedom is also the enemy of freedom. And this is the thing.
Is this like a well-known saying here?
It's come and gone in its time. I remember people used to say it, and I've heard it out. And I've heard they say the first part out in the out in the wilds, law is the enemy of freedom.
Right.
A lot of the cults embrace the idea of freedom, of chaos, of just of change and
Free choice and terrible things like that.
You don't understand.
No, I don't. That's fair.
No, there is no law. The strong rule the weak. You are free as long as you can stop someone putting a rope around your neck.
Right.
Believe me, we understand.
We do.
So
Yeah.
and some places where people are able to stay together and trust each other, it's beautiful, and other places it's terrible.
Yep.
Right.
And that's before the genie gets thrown into the mix.
The genie?
I've never seen it. That's the name for it. There's something out there in the wilderness. They say if you can find it, if you can get to it, it can do anything. Whatever you wish, it can grant it. And if that's true, and it would make sense if it's true. They say it's the reason why there's so many monsters. Why even the land changes out there. Hills rise and fall. Rivers form and break and dry up. Whenever one of the cults gets hold of the genie, everything changes. The only thing...
So
It can't affect the city, obviously, because the city's still standing. But...
That bad, okay.
But it's...
Wasn't there a missing thingamajig?
Huh?
Didn't you say there was a way of making... Did you tell us about the edict that went missing?
Yes.
yes, we did have that conversation.
Yes. Shandy pops up. Yeah, you mentioned there was one of the magistrates lost that the magic amulet thing is the edicts. There's a frown.
Would that do that?
I mean, it sounds like I don't know. Could it do that? And you see, Lobe shakes her head. No. The edicts can make a law happen within a certain rate, within a close range.
They're a bit more specific.
I think I have heard of that though. The Lost Edict. One of the cults got hold of it, and they do have it out there. I definitely remember here. I'd need to check my journals, but I think I could probably figure out which group still had it.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
So something more powerful than that.
She nods.
Is it a person? You're talking like it's an individual.
Maybe. They say...
Is it a spirit?
Again, maybe. Don't get me... The thing is, that's why I was afraid, because some of the cults can do a lot of that. Not raising and lowering sort of hills, granting whatever you wish type things, but they have a lot of power. Power of the kind that I've seen you do, she gestures to Celestia, and the kind it seems the pair of you are capable of. She looks at the two tieflings.
Is it the sorcerer? Is that where the lawbearer's gone?
Could be. I don't
That's
know.
an interesting thought.
I don't know.
Does the concept of genies exist where we come
Yeah,
from?
is genie a word that we know already?
Roll a... I'm going to say history, for want of a better term.
Can
Okay.
we all
Yeah,
do
yeah,
one?
you can
Because
all
we're
do that.
from different
Yeah,
backgrounds.
you're all from different backgrounds.
Oh my god, another
Wow.
one.
That is a 3.
This area dice is kicking my ass.
That's 8. A whole 8.
Okay.
Okay. So the 1 and the 3, the Celestia.
Isn't it a kind of ghost?
Yeah, Celestia. You feel like
It's kind of sandwich, isn't it?
the name once. No, Celestia. You think it's a type of drink?
Oh no! It's a cocktail. I think I had one. I had a little umbrella in it. It was great.
Shanty goes, "Isn't that gin?"
No, it's genie. Made from them berries, isn't
I
it?
think I knew a genie once.
Juniper berries.
Corzin, the name vaguely sounds like maybe Ferocian or something.
We suck.
There's something that, like on the vague edge of your mind, but you're not really sure.
Yeah.
Okay. With an 8 Scamp, you have a very fairy tale understanding. Like you don't know if they were ever real. But you've heard the famous story, or you've heard a famous children's story of someone finding a genie and it granting them anything they wished, in quite a similar manner to that to Brannigan's blade and Geoffrey. But the wishes all but they only had 3 of them, and the wishes all turned horribly on the person who made the wishing. And
You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. Sorry.
And something about being stuck them being trapped in a bottle.
Huh. I remember something about a bottle.
Right. See, it's a drink. Fucking told you.
No. There's something in the bottle.
That's not a drink.
That's not a drink. Like a creature or a thing, and they grants wishes.
Oh, like the
go
iron
wrong.
flask we have.
Yeah, like that.
Dangerous.
I forgot you
Very.
had that flask.
We don't have it
was
with
trying to
us, it's on the
remember.
Kraken's bane.
I was trying to remember if that was this campaign, because I've had bottles with dangerous things in from other places. I was like,
have.
no, that is this one.
It's got 10 fire elementals at least in it. It's not from this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's still in the lockbox in the Kraken's
Yeah,
bane.
we've got a horrible lockbox bottle, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, like that, but instead, like the one, like that thing, but it's the flask, but instead of being whatever's in it, it's something that grants wishes, but it's never in a good way. Or no, sometimes, I don't know. I guess it's a bit hag dealy.
Ew, take it away.
Right.
In that, things go wrong if you don't word it right.
Ugh. Fuck that.
Got you, okay.
Sounds terrible.
Interesting. So this genie has been swanning about out there somewhere, causing gestures vaguely. Do we have any idea why or what they want? What do they get out of granting the wishes of all the people out there?
No idea. The last I heard, the group that sort of had control of the genie wasn't letting anyone near it. I guess probably they're greedy for its power, but based on the fact that they're not absolutely ruling the wilderness, I assume it...
Something didn't pan out. Yeah.
Sorry, that's Shanty. But based on the fact that they're not absolutely ruling the wilderness, I assume that either it can't, grant wishes every single day.
Must be some sort of limit to it.
Yeah, its powers aren't inexhaustible.
Or maybe it can, but it's really dangerous. I don't know. For one reason or another, though, they want to hold on to it and they want to stop anyone else getting to it.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I came here to get away from that. Things aren't...
Doesn't sound fun.
I know that I'm, in a sense, I've come back here into the danger, but I don't know. Maybe there's a chance I can find out whatever's at the core of what's going on here.
Do you have to be careful?
I don't know who exactly to trust. Being a defender, I've got an excuse to go anywhere. I can always, and I don't have the authority that, say, an enforcer does. But I can move around. I can ask questions within certain limits.
You can get away with poking and going to weird places a bit more.
And then and it just gets excused as defenders looking around for anything odd that might have happened. And if anyone really asks, then I can always say
something up. Yeah.
Well, yes, I can always just say, we're worried about Quaker eggs.
Right. So we're the first people within the wall like us you've ever come across?
She thinks and then nods.
That's really concerning.
That is.
Because
yes.
I'm not being funny. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong that I know this, but I feel like this would be like reasonably common knowledge in Calcinea. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's supposed to be about ish, obviously, because people are weird, 1 in 5,000 who can see these things. And you said that there are about 1 million people here.
There should be.
So where the fuck are they
than
all?
Us.
Also, what do we need to look out for? Because me and my spirit are sort of the same thing. So.
Yeah, you can't be separated.
No, and
Yeah.
I've just stood on a fucking roof and done a massive spell in front of a lot of people. So if you have any tips on what to look out for, I would really appreciate them, because I think, don't get me wrong, Corzin, it's not ideal for you either and your friend, but yeah, we can't. We're the same thing. I don't know how else to put that.
As far as I know, that there is no way to separate a spirit from a person they're associated with unless the spirit chooses to leave.
Yeah, as far as we know, as far as I knew, there wasn't a way to get all of them, or most of them, out of a city of 1 million people either.
Well, we've been places where they hate to be. I wonder if there's something that is weaponized that.
Yeah, like wards or something.
Maybe that seems like the sort of thing. I know that there are. I remember that wherever the place was I was going to originally, way back when, Sniffer had this sense of revulsion.
Okay,
Like,
we've had
he
that
didn't-
before.
Like he didn't want to go.
Yeah, no, we've been in that kind of place before, so that's helpful.
But I've walked all around the streets of the city over the last few years, just trying to listen, see if we can feel anything. And I have not walked every single street, but it's so hard to remember because it was so long ago and I was a child. But
Of course.
I think the street that we were going down, there was that they were trying to get us to go down. It was an alleyway, and I think there was I feel like they had a door that was open that might have been leading down some steps, maybe into a cellar or something. And that's when I felt it. So maybe I wouldn't feel it from the streets. Maybe whatever it is, I wouldn't. You won't know until you're close.
I know
It's something they can turn on and off as well.
I know the feeling you're talking about, though, so that's helpful. And also, in a cellar, that's potentially helpful. Anything,
Yeah, and every other time we've come across something like this, it's been something that someone at some time has deliberately made. It's not like a naturally occurring phenomena.
Yeah, have you... This might be a bit specific, so... And I know that these things are hard to see because, it's a big city, etc., etc., but has there ever been a spirit that you knew that disappeared? Like, have you ever noticed one disappear?
When I was Two, actually.
Huh.
When I was very little, there was this one I was calling Flutter. She was like a little. She was almost more like a little bit of a flash of blue, and I thought about how she looked like she was a bird with wings, and I'd see her sometimes, and she'd come around and hang around with me and with Sniffer. Sniffer was...
Oh, you and Sniffer have been together a long time then.
Yeah, he was less together then, but...
No, I get you.
Back in those days. But I remember she would flutter around me and someone else. There was another girl, I think halfling, maybe my age or younger. I've always wondered whether or not she was like me, and she never acted as if she could see the others, but maybe she could.
Maybe she'd learn not to act like she's not to act like that. I had to do a lot of that.
People get very difficult very quickly about people who can see things no one else is seeing.
Yeah, people think it's their business.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I found.
But I remember one day, that Flutter was getting more and more like a bird, and one day, and the last time I remember seeing her, she was just such a beautiful blue feathered bird, and then I never saw her after that, and I didn't see the girl after that either. Sometimes I like to think she skipped over the wall too, but I don't think that's happened. The other time, about 3 years ago, I saw one that was like Sniffer had learned to do, adapted, blended in. Almost, I took her for just a cat for a long time until I realised none of the other cats were acknowledging her.
So is that? I'm sorry, I can't think of a better way to word this. I don't want to upset you, but is that why you think you've lasted so long?
She nods.
Right.
I haven't seen that cat spirit either since then. I hope she found someone and got out. But I think when they find someone they can bond to and they get coherent enough, I think that's when whatever is after us comes for us.
Shit.
Makes a worrying sort of sense.
That's really bad. That's really, really bad.
Because yours don't look like pets.
We literally can't hide.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's actually not a thing that we're particularly capable of.
I mean, just looking at you, yeah, I believe that.
But some people look wild, and then they have all this mad disguise magic they can do. I've just never been able to do it. It's probably because I don't really want to be honest. I think that's how it works. But also sometimes I really kind of do want to, but I'd never really want to. It would just be helpful. But I've never got my head around it. It doesn't work. I look at the Rainbow Spirit. It just doesn't work for us, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
That's not what you're about.
Nah. So it's the Rainbow Spirit. Shanty, of all people, is giving you a slightly lopsided grin.
What kind? What does that mean?
Just there's a strange sort of sympathy to it with an undertone of, yeah, that's really obvious.
I mean...
Look, okay, so I appreciate that I've just met you and this is crazy. But...
Here's my number. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Carry on. Yeah.
But
Celestia does not do that.
does not do that. There's no diegetic reason to do
No,
that.
none.
Right.
I'm just being an arsehole.
Listen, She clenches her fist for a moment, looks at Sniffer. Sniffer, sort of appropriately enough, in his bloodhound form, sniffs and looks up at her with his baleful eyes and gives a slow nod. All right, Miles.
Seal
like
of
I said,
approval.
yeah, like I said, Sniffer's the better judge of character. Sniffer is the better judge of character between the pair of us, and he seems to think you're all right. I appreciate that you haven't known me long, and maybe you don't think there's much reason to trust me or otherwise, but
You've been pretty open, actually.
yes, and I really hope that I'm right in trusting you. You're not planning to stay in the city, are you?
Fuck no.
Nah.
We have other places
Especially
to
not
be.
now. Weren't anyway, but fucking hell.
I can't really hold a candle to what you're all capable of doing, but if I can help you, do what you need to be able to pass through. I understand there's visitors have to do things to get through. Then, if I can help, let me know. At the very least, I can. I know the city and I know the wilderness.
Thank you.
Just
Yeah, thanks.
as a thought, obviously, we've just met and this is crazy, same thing. You're a person with a spirit living in a place where they kill spirits. If we manage enough money, do you want to come? Like, do you want out? Or do you want to stay here and fix things? Either's okay, but yeah. I didn't want to leave you here.
I appreciate it. I came back to find out, to get to the bottom of this. And
Okay.
and whether I get to the problem of what's up with the city, or whether I find a way to get people, or find somewhere safe in the wilderness that's more together than the craziness of the cults. That's my goal.
Okay.
This is my home.
No, that's
Something.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to be stuck.
I appreciate it. I ran for safety before. I came back for a reason.
No, that's fair. And, I mean, good on you. I feel kind of bad that I'm not like, yeah, let's stay and do the same thing, but I really don't think I would last long here.
Something tells me that what we need to do here and what you need to find out are connected.
So what is it you actually need to get out of here?
Fuck ton of money, apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, so much
So
money.
much money.
Ah, right, citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need. And
Isn't
passports.
it boring? It's always money. People are rubbish.
Yeah, we were looking at some bounties and shit. There were a few different
What
ones.
that
There was the one for
diverting
the
a river idea.
edict. There was diverting the river. Yeah, that was the closest we got to like a huge amount of money in a short time.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose on that front, I can probably guide you to places if you need to go outside the city. I don't know what's going on with spirits, with spirit, these, as you say, probable spirit killers in the city, but maybe they have money. I don't know.
Maybe.
And certainly, well, if they're kidnapping people, that's very much a crime. And
Yeah.
and as a defender, at the very least, I can make a damn good case for a bounty payout if you can get to the bottom of that.
How do we know?
because potentially stupid question here. Sorry to cut across you, but we've only been here a short time. You're much more familiar with the lore. There is no specific lore about anyone like us on the books, is there?
In what? In the sense of people who can see spirits?
Yeah,
No.
we can see spirits. We can use certain types of magic. Nothing like that is outlawed.
No, I've
officially.
been through the civil law code, through the civil laws, and it's actually interesting. There's no mention of spirits. Full stop. There is a restriction on performing magic as an accredited member of one of the Inns of Magic without the appropriate licensing. Shanty glances awkwardly to one side. But that's and a couple of other bylaws to that effect, but that's the only recognised source of magic outside of alchemy.
Stranger and stranger.
So, the thing is, though, if there's absolutely no mention of spirits, how do we know that's not on purpose? But, seriously, right?
Well, if you're saying that 1 in 5,000 people should be like me.
Yeah.
That's
on purpose.
I never knew that.
That's on
Of course you
purpose,
didn't.
yeah.
Why would you?
That's suspicious as fuck.
And they don't mention it at all, and that
Sorry,
might mean...
I grew up I spent a lot of time outside the city, I swear.
I just
We're
sort of
gonna get on very well.
look at her with blank eyes. It's really okay. It really is.
There's no actual law against swearing, but
No, there fucking isn't.
custom is a powerful thing.
Slight tangent, but I've just been wondering, when was the last time anyone actually saw the law bearer?
I don't know that. In theory, the law bearer has a chamber in the bureau. She gestures up in the vague direction of the giant offices at the top of the city, but apparently only magistrates can go there, and I heard a rumour that even the magistrates can't get in sometimes.
That too is suspicious as fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
I have a sort of terrible question, actually. When Victory nicked a pen earlier, a big fucking klaxon went off and she was all stingy and stuff. Would a way to not have that happen if one kidnapped a person be not to have that person you kidnapped as part of the law? If you deleted that person from the law, would the klaxon not go off? Because if you don't mention people with spirits and somehow these people are kidnapping them and not having the "oh, you broke the law" alarm go off, could that be why? Because they're not in the text of the law.
We can test this right here and now. And Corzin takes out... Yeah.
I mean, don't set off a klaxon.
Yeah,
That'd be
really
bad.
don't.
Alright, but... all you need to do would be to take something from me. If I'm a person under the law...
Then a klaxon will
It'd
go
happen.
off and they'll know where this person is who's trying to hide.
Victory raises her hand. I would say I probably got about 20 seconds of just being in pain before the whistling started.
Cool. So if you give it back quickly.
Okay.
Who wants to try and pickpocket Corzin?
I'm not going to, because I've got a spirit. And I feel like that will confuse the results somewhat.
Fair.
I'll do it.
Cracking.
I'm real good at stealing. Corzin, shut all of your eyes. That's not possible.
The fact that I'm aware of it shouldn't make any difference.
I've still got a sleight of hand and try and take something.
Yeah,
do it.
Go
Do
for
it.
it. Against Coulson's passive perception.
Good luck, man.
Which is massive, so, this will go really, really
So
well.
Even if I
well.
catch you, I'm not preventing you.
Oh yeah, it's just...
Oh, it's just for fun, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
They're a child, and you've said steal something from me.
What is my sleight of hand these days?
It says somewhere I had the wrong tab open. Oh no.
No, notes.
You...
Lobo
Where are the
says,
notes?
just to clarify,
that is 21.
you explicitly don't give permission for anyone to take anything off you, right?
I explicitly do not give you permission to take anything from me.
Oh.
Don't you do
it's
that.
21.
Don't you do it.
Oh no, never.
Out of curiosity, is 21 higher than your passive?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
My
absolutely
passive
not.
perception's 24.
What item do you try and take from Corzin?
What is the most fun thing?
I mean, do you want to roll randomly for it?
Absolutely, I do. I don't know
Okay.
how that's going to work. Pick
roll-
6 things,
Yeah.
and I'll roll a d6.
Sure, okay. Yeah, alright, I've got 6
Yep.
things.
I rolled a 1.
A 1. Okay, you got my belaying pin.
Hey.
Hey.
Except you didn't.
Well, I mean, you absolutely
I
do
did.
get
You
the
just
belaying
saw it
pin.
happening.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
Corzin just 100% notices you reach in.
Okay, and Corzin will, make a theatrical, will close the actual eyes in his actual face and put his hands over the over the eyes,
cute.
like he's playing hide and seek.
You have this uncanny,
There are little eyes on the back of his hands. It doesn't make any difference.
You have this uncanny feeling that Corzin is watching you lift the belaying pin off him through his waist, which he is. And the eyes on his hips, through the eyes on your hips, you get a good view of Scamp filching the pen. Scamp, almost immediately you feel a sort of burning, stinging sensation.
Ow, ow, have it back. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh,
And
no.
And-
Stop. Thief. I can't keep that up. Right, here we go.
as soon as you release it and let it and give it back to Corzin, the sort of burning sensation stops.
Okay, as I do that, I am going to attempt to, because I'm within close range of Scamp, I'm going to attempt to pilfer a small item off of them.
Ooh, roll a sleight of hand check.
Science.
15.
Scamp, what's your passive?
Yeah. 10.
Okay. Roll. I mean, Scamp doesn't have many small items.
I was going to say, do you have 6 items?
Oh, I've got so much weird shit in my pockets.
Something that would fit into my hand.
A finger clock.
You could steal Scamp's one dagger.
The butter knife.
I rolled a 6.
Let's have a look down what we've got on what is still on this list. I mean, I do have also my bags of holding. Are you trying to grab something out of those?
I think
Literally the sort of thing I could, would be visible on your person.
Oh, what about Kevin the Brick? Now he's probably in the in the bag.
I mean, would you have him, on your, I assume,
Corzin,
belt or something?
yeah, for the sake of
I'm still carrying around my bucket. Have you tried to take my bucket?
Sure, yeah.
okay.
You absolute monster.
Hey, that's my bucket.
As you try and take as you reach into the bag of holding, because I guess that's where you put what is literally a bucket-sized bucket, and pull the bucket out, your hand also begins to to feel a sort of sharp, burning pain sensation.
Ah, okay, well, that answers that question, and here's your bucket back.
Release
Thank you.
it.
But
Defender.
spirits themselves aren't going to be protected, are they? So we don't know what they do to the people who can see them, but we don't know if they're doing something horrible to the spirits. That's
No.
not protected by law.
Lobe
Right, no,
kind
no,
of pinches at the bridge of her nose and says, try not to do too much of that. I do know from experience that there are enough there are enough attempted child thefts across. Sorry, I keep going to shanty for some reason. Try not to make a habit of that. I am aware. I do know from experience that there are enough attempted minor child thefts and so on over the city that sort of background noise, that sort of thing isn't going to attract an enforcer, but
Don't keep doing it.
if you keep doing it, they're likely to pay attention.
That makes
Given
sense.
what we'd been talking about, I for a split second there, I was wondering if you were meant children that were stealing things or people stealing children.
Yeah, me too, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it took me a sec.
So you're not allowed to do magic without a license. Could they get the people they're kidnapping on that charge? If they had a spirit with them.
Or is it just
I haven't
claiming
heard it
to
come
be doing...
I haven't heard it come up in heard of it come up in the courts, and I thought about that and looked into it. It's as if the whole thing doesn't. There's no acknowledgement of this happening. One thing I can tell you, though, is that the citywide, unless you're in range of an edict, only the basic laws are
magically
automatically
prohibited.
Enforced. Yes.
Okay.
And only within the
Good to
city
know.
limits. Once you get more than about 10, 20 feet from the exterior of one of the walls, the laws stop applying.
Right, so all they'd have to do would be to herd you out of the city enough that they could do that. Do something.
Yeah.
If it's so if they can get you out of the reach of the law.
How far down does the law go?
Hang on. There's an edict missing. There's an edict missing, and people are being kidnapped into a particular basement. Could they have made kidnapping not illegal in that basement if they brought the edict back in?
If they had hold of it, I don't know. Can
Because
the edict
that's why it's
counter
terrifying,
the law?
right? Because you can
Frowns for a
write a law on it and it'll change the local area, yeah?
Yeah, can it override the basic law?
She frowns and her eyes widen. You can't override the basic laws, but
But could you if you
make
had an
them
edict?
exempt?
the basic laws go as follows. No murder. There's no murder.
Yeah.
No assault, which kidnapping definitely is. Mm-hmm. There is violence. There's no theft, but there are also 2 exceptions that are listed in the basic laws. All the other exceptions are in the civil laws. The first one is violence is permitted in self-defense,
Yes.
or to defend someone else being assaulted. The other is that magistrates and enforcers are exempt from the basic laws, but subject to punishment and enforcement through the Code of Magistracy. Mm-hmm. Now, practically speaking, I have seen enforcers attack and subdue a violent criminal before. And also someone who tried to get away with a high-level theft. They would only be able to do that if they are exempt from the basic laws kicking in immediately.
Because otherwise they'd be rolling on the ground screaming or whatever, yeah.
You couldn't stop a thief with violence.
Yeah.
I know that I can't. I can intervene. As a defender, I can intervene to stop violence if there is a clear threat of violence, but I can't intervene to stop, say, theft or property damage.
Right.
That's not covered in the basic laws. But a magistrate or an enforcer could.
And if you had an edict, would that mark you as magistrate?
It might. I don't know exactly how it works, but that might be it.
Like, if I wandered out and found the edict to put it on, would the system count me as a magistrate, do you reckon?
I don't know. I know that there's something that... I know that something happens when they bond magistrates and enforcers. Mm-hmm. That makes them one. And the
Is it like a sacred oath or something?
Yes, but also something magical. You've noticed the way they... Have you seen magistrates and enforcers moving together? The way they don't talk to each other? They don't need to.
No.
Oh, they can talk inside their heads.
They can do like messaging like what I did to you earlier. Or more than that, do you think?
The enforcers don't... The enforcers usually leave the speaking to the magistrate, but they say anything that... but they do say anything an enforcer hears, a magistrate hears.
Right, so
vice
maybe they
versa.
share thoughts. That's a bit frightening.
There are magical ways of doing that.
But maybe that's part of an edict. I don't know. I've never held one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
For
we're
obvious
new, so...
reasons.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Maybe that's if someone or is bound to an edict, maybe they register to the law as being an enforcer or a magistrate. Maybe that's how.
I mean, they're quite frightened about getting it back, right? So one assumes in some way it must be something powerful that they don't quite have control over. And that would would kind of track as a problem, right?
Yeah, or they don't want anyone who isn't them to have because it is powerful. And
Yeah, but they can't turn it off from afar. Clearly, like the fact that they want it back so badly implies quite a few things.
Yeah.
Because if they could just switch it off or it was completely useless, they wouldn't want it back. The ceremony wouldn't be enough to, be paying somebody fucking 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, if all it was outside the walls of this city was a piece of cloth, that's... yeah.
Wouldn't be worth it.
No.
Yeah.
Makes me want to see if we can get it, though.
I just feel like the only way a kidnapping could be happening here is if the law said it was okay somehow, right? And this is not one kidnapping, this is repeated. Like, with how your system works, either they are sanctioning it, either the system says it's okay, or somebody's beat the system. Those are the two possibilities. Because you couldn't keep kidnapping people and getting away with it. That's not how it works here.
The fact that it's not in the law at all makes me feel like it's in the system.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
not a thing you leave out by accident. Therefore, I don't even know if a stolen edict is... Would they need one? Surely they are the system.
Yeah.
I guess it's useful to have one that's not tracked for deniability, but I don't know. This is bad.
It's really bad. It's really, really bad. We can't be here for long.
We really can't, actually, Sir Shanty. I think we've got to go to the... you've got a theatre date in less than 10 minutes.
Oh,
Good. Shit.
Can we meet you after?
Yeah, would it be worse not to go? I feel like that would probably be more suspicious, wouldn't it? We've kind of got to pretend
It
everything's
would.
fine.
All right. Where can I...
Unless you can concoct some reason for why you need to be around us.
I can hang around... I'm not doing anything the rest of the evening. If this place is secure, I can stay around... I could stay around here, or I could meet you near this theatre when you're done.
What are you more comfortable with? I'm aware that even being around somebody that's obvious is probably putting you in danger, so what would you prefer?
I am happy to... She frowns and shakes her head. You could... This thought about magistrates being in on it has me worried.
Of course it does.
As well it should.
I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind the opportunity to stretch my legs and think about it, maybe look around a bit, but it might be... If you think you're going to need me somewhere useful, need me nearby, I can always walk around the theatre district for a while. Just be somewhere close by that I can keep an eye out for you. Otherwise...
I wouldn't complain of the help.
Alright, then I'll do that. I'll be...
Don't go anywhere you could be taken unawares.
Yeah, and obviously just fucking run if anything looks bad, you know?
That trick you did before,
Yes.
where your voice was in my head.
Should we... I'm so sorry, pronouns.
She.
Cracking. What if we give her one of our stones temporarily?
yeah?
That might be a good
Right.
idea. I wouldn't mind keeping mine.
You can have
So
mine
that-
because I can use the sending. I can do message as a spell. I can do it like.
Yeah.
I can get in touch with either of you without needing the stone.
Yeah.
It just is a little more effort.
That makes sense. I mean, obviously, I can do message too, but to be honest, I'd really like to be warned quickly. As paranoid as that might sound, I
ain't got
think
spirits.
having a
Have it here,
direct
you have
line
my stone.
to the person who can warn would make me feel a bit better. Don't
Makes
like
sense.
it here.
Yep.
All right.
I'm a little bit tapped for most of my magics, but if you need us to get, like, both you and Corzin, any minute you feel panicked, I've got a big one, I can get us somewhere else quick.
Okay, good to know.
I used all the little stuff, but I didn't use the bigger ones.
All right, and that's worked in the Citadel before, hasn't it?
Provided you're not in a sanctum.
I think it
you have
has.
had
Yeah.
it work before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Right. That's a good button to be able to push.
All right.
We should probably go to the fucking theatre, shouldn't we? This is so weird. What the fuck? I turn to the Rainbow Spirit. If you feel anything weird, just... I mean, I'll feel it too, but I don't know. I don't even know
Don't
what I'm
worry,
saying.
you'll be
This
the
is so
second to know.
obvious, isn't it?
I don't. Yeah, it's a strange. This place is
Fucked up.
lonely.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Ambivalent
Feels
octopus.
quiet.
Shrugs.
Yeah.
The Lobe takes the stone, gives a sort of test. Hello?
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
right.
Yeah, if you just put it somewhere kind of near your ear. It doesn't need to be like in it, but like,
She
Somewhere
fiddles
nearby.
around a
It's
little
got
bit with the...
a limit to how far you can go on it, though.
yeah, it's like 100 feet, is it? I think.
I think it was further than
I think
that.
it's about 500 feet.
Oh, 500 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll help if I'm close at least. So I'll stick around. As I say, I'll stick around the theatre. That should let me stay within a street or two and still hear you.
Good call.
Try
We'll
not
check
to
in.
draw too much attention. Well, enjoy the show and keep me appraised of what you want to be doing.
We'll do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You gather yourselves together and head out and start walking down the street, moving in the direction of the Rosewood.
Yeah. I do some acting as we walk out and just look fine. Unless you know me really, really well, then there are probably some tells.
Lobe waits a little until you've left, then leaves and... I guess actually Lobe would probably leave a couple of minutes beforehand, and then you'd follow.
It's an adorable sneeze. It's really cute. Like a small hamster or something. It's very
Oh, yeah.
pleasing. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Damn, sneezes a bit.
It's really cute.
I'm adorable.
Oh, sometimes you are, honestly. It's ridiculous.
The okay, I will say then the journey to the theatre is largely unremarkable. Corzin, you actually, yeah, Corzin and Scamp, neither of you have been here, but you both get the opportunity to see the Rosewood Theatre for yourselves. It's a very sort of Globe Theatre-esque building, down to the point of being quite, I think I said quite round. I think I described it as essentially if you took the Globe Theatre and then ran it through the lens of sort of Taoist-style pagodas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it.
That's a cool combination of things.
Yeah.
Just like if there's like a clear bit of street, I'd like to say something to the other two, but only if there is a clear
Yeah,
bit
there
of
are
street.
there's clear enough bits of street that you can talk quietly without being over.
Just like on the way there,
Yeah.
yeah, before we get in. So the longer I think about this, the worse it gets. And I'm quite worried that there are basements full of, like, that kid and her bird spirit. And I'm struggling to not to want to do something about that, because that's horrifying.
I mean, yeah.
If that is what's going on, then we stop it.
Well, it's either they're all in cages or they're all dead, right? Either way,
That
We stop
that
it.
needs to be over. That can't fucking stand,
yeah.
right?
Oh, totally. I've got.
I know getting
the mind of
involved
my
is
thought is
pretty dangerous here, but
Yeah, but this place sucks, doesn't it?
it's awful. Like, I mean, I hated it anyway, but, like, that's properly terrifying, if I'm
Well,
honest.
look, leaving aside it's just the right thing to do, this is not a, as much as they like to pretend it is not a lawful place. It is not what I think anyone would have created deliberately unless they were an absolute fucking maniac.
Yeah.
I do wonder if someone's come in and fucked with it.
Or if the
Wouldn't
lawbearer is a
surprise
fucking
me.
nutter.
I mean, I will
the
point
thing
out
that-
we have met absolute fucking maniacs here, says Victory.
I've got to say, I did have a
but
moment.
this doesn't feel like law. It feels like someone's come in and undone someone else's work that was already here and made it work for them.
Yeah,
so
I
much of this
did-
place is like, go on.
I did have a thought, actually, that I hated, and I think I should probably say it to you both. You know the Drow Empress?
Yes.
The whole thing about the genie being able to move things around and do whatever they wished made me think of the Dreamfold, and it made me think of how much fucking control she had where I was supposed to have control.
Huh.
And the thing is, I've always been told that the Drow Empress can, is sighted. Is that correct, Jason?
You've
Or-
not.
or we're
you've
not
never
sure.
been told that the Grand Empress is sighted.
Oh, is she not? Okay, cool. Sorry, I had
she-
it in my head she was like a high priest, so I assumed she was.
So the you've never heard that she's sighted.
Okay.
The state religion holds that she is functionally a living god.
Right.
Like she is essentially the favored of the spider goddesses.
Favoured.
And considered to have power equal unto them. She is canonically the Drow Empress is canonically like a sort of living deity type monarch, which practically most people, even most Drow,
No, that's bullshit.
take as assumed to be a lot more like a ceremonial statement.
It's like saying the Pope's a living god, or like it's just not
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
It's in the way
Except
that,
if the Pope was like really, really magic.
most I imagine that a majority of Catholics, for instance, do not believe that the Pope has a literal telephone to God.
No, and they, yeah.
Yeah, but there is, but
Oh no! In my head, I'm now imagining the phone from the Powerpuff Girls for some reason.
That would be the phone. Mine had the one from
That entirely
Batman.
would be
So
the
mine had the
even
Batman
better.
phone. So I'm with you on the theme, like definitely.
but yes, Ariadne is at least according to the theology of the imperial cult, on a level with the spider goddesses.
Right. I don't know. It was something about the genie and how they talked about it. I think we've talked about the possibility of her being a sorcerer before, haven't we?
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
By this point, and it just something
Especially
of
with
it
the
pinged up
long
for
living
me.
thing.
And yeah, don't know. Just found myself thinking about it. Don't know if she's supposed to be sighted or not. Don't think so. But
None of the other sorcerers we've come across have been sighted, have they?
yeah, but sorcerers break the rules.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
So there could be one that is.
Yeah, and I mean, she did break the rules. Like, is the thing. In those dream spells, the bit that I go in is supposed to be my bit. And it wasn't.
she just turned the whole thing on its head. And I don't know, the law bearer, Drow Emperor, like,
Yeah, I will see what you.
I could be wrong. It's
We
speculation.
do also
really.
have like the Radiant. Seems unlikely. It could be her,
The
but
Dusk?
it could be. Nah, none of the others feel like I mean, they could.
I mean,
be,
I thought
suppose.
maybe the Mentalist.
I feel
at one
like
point.
we'd have
or the
seen
Shaper
some
of
sign
Will.
of it.
The Shaper of Will could work. I mean, she didn't shape my will.
Yeah.
She shaped our surroundings. I don't know. I mean, I could be overthinking it, but yeah.
Definitely one, but it does bear thinking about. If we haven't met the iteration of her that's here yet, which one is it? And if we have, which one is it?
Yeah. This is all a bit terrifying, isn't it, to be honest?
I mean, Shandy goes in, looks to one side. I mean, as far as I know, this is just how life works. I have to say, my sense of terror went out of the window about a day ago.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I think ours are a bit skewed. I can't pretend this is normal, but...
This is not a normal Bright's Day.
Okay, well that's nice to know. That's, I was getting the feeling that maybe this place was a little more normal, based on the fact that it actually has people. Right.
This doesn't get to be normal, no.
No.
It felt more normal than the weird campfire.
You know, I actually think the weird campfire felt a lot closer to something normal to me. That was telling stories to each other. That's a normal thing.
Right.
This is not normal.
It's just that here I could buy fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, if you say this is fucked up,
It's really fucked up.
It
I'll
gives
take you in
the,
it.
like a lot of other places here, it gives the facade of being normal, but it isn't.
Right. I guess I'll won't bother with the citizenship application then.
No, I wouldn't.
I do think we're unlikely to find lots and lots of people with sites stored up somewhere, because I can't see an advantage to keeping them alive.
Yeah, I know.
Unless
Still
you
need
were
stopping.
keeping them for something specific. Yeah.
But I don't know. I wondered. I suppose people, spirits. Are they keeping the spirits for something? Are the spirits dead? Are they eaten? Is their power used for something? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Well, they are powerful. It must be going somewhere if that's what they're using it for. We gotta figure out this shit.
I'm gonna look at the pride spirit. Do spirits get killed? Does that happen, or is that an us thing, like memory?
The Pride Spirit, in their sort of reflection of Celestia's face that they form sometimes, frowns, and the rest of them kind of like coils in a sort of uncertain way. It's a little hard to say.
Sorry to ask.
If you died, I'd stick around as me for a time, but from everything we've seen, it sounds like I don't know, maybe I'd go back to the way I was. But
That's not dying, though.
there's...
I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. It's not what this person was describing.
Yeah, I don't know about just. You remember when we went to that place with like the weird cliff?
Yeah, or the line on paper, or the stretched
Yeah,
thread you
that
could step
sort
at.
of-
Yeah, that whole that semen cloth. I don't know, but whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, and Well, I didn't feel. We don't have anything like that.
Right. Okay. So where are they putting you all then? Or are they poofing you and taking the power? Like, what are they doing? Something's going on. Because you're right, Scamp. I can see a benefit to keeping the people alive. What you just said. A spirit often, I don't think always, but often gets more powerful when it attaches to a person, and they kind of help each other get more powerful, right?
Right.
We're
And
assuming that they're
if the
using the
person-
spirits rather than.
If the person dies, the
Yeah.
spirit gets
They
less
go.
powerful.
Right.
It depends what they want. Because if what they want
Yeah,
is
if
to
it-
use all these really powerful spirits at their full power for a thing, it might actually be worth keeping the people alive.
Or they just want the spirits gone because the spirits are a source of power they can't control.
Yeah, that's the other thing they could want. Depends what they want. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
frustrated and freaked out.
And that air continues as you make your way into the theatre. You have been accorded some pretty decent seats. Not the royal box, as it were, but good...
Because those would be terrible suits. I don't fucking see a thing.
yeah, the royal box is actually
It does look rubbish.
like quite difficult
A
to see
little
from.
opera glasses.
But you're not down...
It's a place to be seen, not to see.
Yeah. You are at that comfortable level where you can see the stage well. You are off to the one side a bit, but you're not, fighting for space with the groundlings. Though arguably, like, right up against the stage with the groundlings is sometimes a really good place. Though, right up against the stage, less so much. Anyway. The... Apparently that's that's our watching play music.
That's the what was the word?
the intermission
The
music.
overture.
Yes. The
Play about a little halfling that walks into a bar and some weirdos give him some money for sausages. So that's what that track makes me think of.
Yeah.
yes, I guess that is what happened.
That's definitely Romeo and Juliet meets Mad Max, isn't it?
Yeah.
And indeed, you do get to watch the thrilling performance.
That is what you said last time.
Yep, of Rose of the Wastes, which is indeed a pretty much Romeo and Juliet meets Mad Max through the lens of Conan the Barbarian. There is indeed a highly dramatized conflict in the no doubt heavily romanticized wildlands between the different cults of the lawbreakers. Two bands long in enmity, and in I'm trying to think, and the scions of whom meet in a sort of strange neutral ground, each trying to ambush each other and each other's groups, and in a case of mistaken identity, end up falling in. Developing a surprisingly subtle and well-written romance, although the ages of the characters make you doubt whether they actually have that level of emotional complexity yet. At least for the lines that they're coming out with.
They've known each other a suspiciously short time as well.
Yeah.
Like, Corzin will lean over to Celestia at one point, like, aren't they supposed to be like Scamp's age?
Yeah, I did hear that at the start of the play, but I'm sorry, those actors are... they're not elves, so
definitely
it's
in
hard
their
to tell,
30s.
but they're at least 30, right?
Yeah, they're
At
probably in their
least.
30s.
Surely.
The nevertheless,
Anyone who's ever been to the theatre, you're welcome.
Nevertheless, at the end of Act 2 of 5, There is. Yes, I believe in I believe in traditional 5-act structures.
No one wants to watch theatre for that long.
The Act 4 and 5, in fairness, are collectively as long as Act 1 was, though. Just as we're getting a sort of first reversal of fortune, an intermission is called, and people sort of filter out to use the toilets or perhaps purchase overpriced drinks and snacks at the bar. I will say that Celestia, do you to go and get a drink?
Yes, definitely.
As you go to do so, you do actually spot a character at the bar. You absolutely see Forviola Crest hobnobbing about with various well-to-do figures. You do briefly spot the dwarf Magnus Redfolder up in the royal box, but he doesn't come down to get drinks.
I've taken I don't know if it's rational or irrational, but it is a deep loathing to this character.
Just taking a dislike.
Got no clue. Robbie wants to burn his skin off.
As you look up at filtering out, you do catch sight of because the pair of you haven't actually seen him before. An elderly, white-bearded dwarf, kind of grandfatherly looking, in the same outfit as before, a well-done sort of robe type affair with repeating Celtic knot patterns. He does seem to notice you looking up, glances down, briefly makes eye contact with you, and gives us a little incline of the head, as he sees you around.
Give him a wave.
Before going back to a conversation with what looks like with an elf in the box next to him.
Who's that, Celestia?
Oh, bloke from the theatre. He's the patron of this place.
Oh. The big cheese, so to speak.
Yeah, I didn't like him much, to be honest. He's taking us out for dinner later, though.
Oh, does that
Generous,
mean we
at
have to
least.
pretend to like him?
I think that would probably be less suspicious than doing anything else, to be honest, as much as it's annoying.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm good at that.
Well,
I am, but I don't really feel like it.
Victory kind of rolls her eye, like, I'm pretty used to smiling at people who want to stab me, or vice versa. I grew up in Porto Macedonia.
Fair.
That's
It's a
Yeah,
useful
that makes
skill.
sense.
Shanty.
Speaking of which, Celestia is giving off the proper just lovey darling at the theatre. When they're not talking like privately to you folks, it's that you would see that there's an edge, but I don't think most other people would.
Yeah.
While you are at the bar, though, Celestia, you do spot someone else who you recognise from before, but who you didn't really get a chance to talk to, as queuing up for a drink. You see Solon Lanwis, the drow surgeon.
Oh, yeah.
That Corzin spent the day with.
I give him a wave.
He raises half a mostly empty glass at you while kind of queuing to get it refilled. If there is an opportunity to speak to him if you want to.
Yeah, why not? We didn't establish how he got here, did we?
Not to you. Anyway.
No, I think he mentioned to me that he'd been here at least several hundred years.
Fair.
So,
But he didn't say how that happened, I don't think.
No.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So you see him. He notices you approach. Gives you a smile and an incline of the head.
All right, darling.
Good to meet you. darling.
Sorry,
it
I'm not
was,
really thinking. It's the theatre, it's getting to me.
No.
What was
quite
your name
all right.
again? Solon?
Solon Lanwis, and you said you were Celia Stardust?
Nearly, Celestia. Close enough.
Right. Would you care for a drink?
Hello, I wasn't there earlier.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Scamp, have you come over as well?
Well, I'm not. I shouldn't be left on my own in this place.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not going
And
to
there's
stop
no
you.
way I'm sitting still in an interval.
So, Scamp, you were there. I'm going to say that Victory, Shanty, and the rest are probably hanging around with Corzin and queuing up to get
Yeah.
snacks. So
Queue up with Dad for snacks. Yes.
Solon inclined said, and I don't believe I've met your friend.
Oh, this is Scamp.
Pleasure to meet you. I don't think I've ever met someone with goat horns before.
Yeah, they're actually part goat.
Yeah, I'm the goat lord.
Yeah.
He
Sort of.
raises an eyebrow. Is that a hereditary position?
Yes.
It's
Kinda
complicated.
is. It
It's
really
real
kind of is.
complicated.
It really kind of is, actually. Yeah.
Right. And would you like a drink while I'm here?
No, thank you.
Okay. Fair enough. Yes, two of the white, please. Thank you.
So, why are there not many drow here? Is that an on-purpose thing, or is it just sort of random?
Well, there, I suppose. I assume there are probably. Well, maybe there are. I assume there must be more of us where you come from. There are about 200 of us in the city.
Oh, okay. No, I've literally not seen any other ones, so I was just wondering, you know?
I mean, I don't know if it's different on the outside of this city. Here, at least, drow and other elves, we only tend to be able to bear children once a century.
Oh, that's true, yeah, fair enough. And if you don't have a lot of you in one place, it's not going to look like a lot. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, I just wondered if we were less fertile because we were here, or more fertile on the outside.
Oh, no, darling, that's the same thing everywhere, yeah.
I suppose then the answer as to why there aren't many of us is that there weren't many of us to begin with.
Oh, fair enough. How did you end up getting here? Have you always lived here, or I'm just really curious because obviously I'm new, I don't know anything.
No, of course. I mean, I've never met another drow with your distinctive hair and eye colour. I assume that is that normal on the outside, or?
Oh, it's just it's just a bit of like cosmetic-y enchantment.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit expensive, but it's not like abnormal.
Right. I see. No. Corzin Master Horhace was saying that there's a lot there's a lot more magic outside.
Yeah, it's a bit more freely available for like just the ancillary stuff than it is here.
Yeah, it's coming out your butt there. Everywhere you look.
So you heard it
Was
here
it?
first. Magic coming
A
out
very
your butt. Where
colourful
from?
phrase, indeed.
Yeah,
Here
butt
you go.
magic.
Passes you.
That's what I said out loud with my mouth. Yep.
Gives another order to the bartender. Passes some coins over, and Celestia hands you a glass of white wine. Takes a glass for himself, and Scamp passes you a small box of, like a very small box of what appear to be kind of like sugar-coated nuts.
That sounds really good. Oh, we had some really good sugar-coated nuts at a laugh event the other day. Now I'm thinking about them.
I ate the last of them
Bring
earlier
them
on
back
before we
to
start
me,
recording, and
please.
I regret not taking more with me. They were so good.
Oh,
I've still got some in my bag, and they're fucking amazing. I've just
They are.
remembered.
I'm gonna get double down on that. Then they are brightly, they are slightly pastel-coloured, sugared pralines, just like chopped nuts,
So
like
good.
mixed in like baked into sugar. They crunch satisfyingly and are obviously sweet and nutty. Solon takes a sip of this. No. Right. Well, no, there's not a lot of it here beyond, obviously, the old tricks. He sort of gestures with a hand and you see 4 little red lights pop up around his wrist and then sort of fade out of existence.
Oh yeah, I'll get you just a bit back.
No.
I think that's just a blood thing with us, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. We can all. Glad to hear that we can all do it. Where both here and where you're from.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware.
Actually, I've been to ask. You're presumably from the cities that I've.
Originally Utu, yeah.
That was the name of one of them. Yes.
Have you ever been?
Oh no!
You've always been here.
I was born here. 200.
But you've got family who came
Yes.
from outside?
Well, that would have been in my grandmother's time. It would have been. I don't think any of us are. Thanks. No one left from the first generation anymore. A lot of them were reasonably old when they came in, and it's been to hear the tale told. It must be now. Thinks for a moment. closer to 800 years since we.
How long's the Drow Empress?
At least 2,000.
Not that long. Celestia, you just know this.
Yeah, I would. It's like who's king. Like
Yeah.
I would know that.
The Drow Empress was obviously around for the formation of the Drow Empire because she founded it. It's 1798 now. About probably about 800 years ago, thereabouts.
So, and how long did he say? I'm sorry.
I'm actually going to slightly
My brain
change
deleted
that.
the first
I'm just double checking
number.
my figures actually, and I'm going to change that and say because she founded it a little bit before the year 1000, according to the Regency calendar, 1798. So I'm going to change that. I need to say no. I think it was about 900 years ago.
Oh, that your lot came.
Yes. So
Right.
my grandmother's time.
Oh, so a little bit before the current empress then. Oh.
Empress.
Yeah, was there not? Of course there wasn't.
Well, I was going to ask all the stories I've ever heard of the 8 cities ever at war.
Yeah, that kind of calmed down a bit actually.
Your grandmother who came
for a
here
bit.
that long ago, who did she come with? Do you know? Who was leading them?
Well, the stories say that the stories passed down say that she and the other original Drow who settled here came with the Lawbearer.
Right. Interesting.
Right. Okay, yeah, well that answers.
Yeah.
Oh, hooray.
No, I was
Interesting. Yeah.
quite curious because you're the first Drow visitor.
Ever?
Well, since we've been here, obviously
Shit.
we would have been visitors once.
Yeah, I mean, one assumes. Do you know where your family were from originally? Do you know which city?
I think Jogamundu?
Jorogumo.
Jorogumo, that was it, yes.
Have I ever been there?
I think you've briefly visited Jorogumo once, because I believe it is on the Jovan side of the Underdark.
Is there an obvious feature of Jorogumo that I can use to make polite conversation with this person? So I want to be like, oh, lovely gardens, or like whatever, I don't know what's that.
I'm going to say at this point, yes, the fungal gardens there are exquisite.
Oh, gorgeous mushroom gardens in Dorogumo.
Yes, of course.
Oh, famous for them.
No. I forget living where we do. He sort of gestures up and out. It is now dark, but gesturing, I suppose, up in the direction through the window towards. Well, interestingly, there is no sun as ever, but there are twinkling lights akin to stars.
Yeah. So there must be a sun equivalent. Okay.
I think it's been generally the rule throughout the Sirius Citadel that there is sunlight but not sun. But there is apparently the appearance of stars. Just it says they say living as we do on the surface. I sometimes forget that the old stories say how we were driven beneath the surface by our cousins, and the city still lived there today.
Yeah, must be weird to imagine, I suppose. Nearly as weird as it was to come above ground for the first time. That was bizarre.
What was that like?
Amazing.
If you don't mind my asking.
The best thing I've ever done, to be honest. I mean, terrifying as well. Like, the first time you look at the sky, it makes you feel a bit sick, to be honest, because it's fucking enormous when you've had a roof over your head the whole time. And the sea, woof. Scariest shits of my life that first week on a boat.
See.
So that was really personal.
As I say, colourful language you visitors have, but quite alright.
Yeah, you don't like a swear here, do you?
It's just not the done thing.
Bit of a fucking shame, if you ask me.
It makes me want to swear so much more. Isn't it dreadful?
Doesn't it fucking just?
He looks he looks not exactly offended, but just mildly uncomfortable.
Sorry.
Quite alright.
I don't apologise.
Yeah. But no. It's just, as I say, it is a marvel. Unless there's anything else, I hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for saying hello, and thank you for the drink. It's very kind.
Oh, no. Truth be told, I was curious what you'd be like.
That's as fair as curious about you. I mean, when you haven't seen a drow since you're here, you get curious.
If you're sticking around, I'm sure there's other members of the community who'd love to meet someone from the old country, as it were.
Yeah, I don't know how long we'll be here, but you know.
Right. Yes, of course. I understand you'll be looking to get on your way.
Yeah, I mean, we're only visitors, right?
Well, provided you don't want to stick around, then.
Oh no, we've got our own business outside, I'm afraid.
Right. Yes, of course.
Not that it's not a lovely place, of course.
I have. If you don't mind my asking.
Mm-hmm.
What are you? Where are you trying to get to? The stories talk about visitors coming through or invading, and I've met a few in my time who either didn't know a lot or didn't want to talk, and most of them were members. Most of the ones I spoke to were soldiers or the like who'd come here as part to either to escort someone or to try and or they were trying to explore some sort of city, and they said that they were trying to get to to somewhere else, and either they didn't. I I remember speaking to a few of them. Some of them said they stuck around because it was an opportunity to get out. Some said they were too. Some said that they were scared of the person they were going with, and didn't want to, and felt it was a good excuse to
Leave.
well, settle down somewhere stable. And I remember one said that they just couldn't face going through any more wings.
Huh. How much do you know about where you are?
Oh, well, I pride myself in knowing a few things. I'm curious, but I understand that we, when we are hidden, this place, the state exists beyond the sight of the gods, and that there are other hidden places around us, and that sometimes visitors travel through to get to those places.
Beyond the sight of the gods. Interesting.
And I know that that there is an outside beyond those hidden places, that we came from outside. Calcinea, yes.
We're from there.
Right.
And
because that's where the cities would be
exactly, yeah. We're trying to get through as many wings as we can for information and then get out. Back home.
Well, then I wish you luck in getting home.
I guess to put it in your words, we're trying to see the rest of the hidden places as well as yours.
How have you found it?
Alright. I mean, you're second
Not what
last.
I was expecting.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been scary. Sort of really... I don't know why I said alright, actually. It's been nuts, to be honest.
And we've not really found what we're looking for.
No.
At least I haven't.
But, you and then one more to go. So, there's still time.
Well, I hope that you do find what you're looking for. He raises his glass.
Cheers.
Clink. And it looks like we need to be heading back to our seats.
Yes, it does.
5 minutes 20 for peanuts? That's ridiculous.
I'm obsessed with you.
Oh, one thing though, before we go back to our seats, I wanted to use this opportunity to check in with Lobe to make sure she's still out there.
You tap the stone and you get a response. Right. Yes, I'm just loitering in one of the alleyways near here.
Glad you're alright.
Yes.
Just because it's through the stones, so all three of us will be able to hear, right?
Yeah. Just the interval now. Hopefully the second half isn't quite as long.
Just so you know, says Lebe, I've noticed a few people checking in at the back, at the stage door.
Right.
While the play's been going on. I heard one of them say something about, no, come back later.
Huh.
What do you mean by checking in?
It seemed as if they were asking... I didn't get a good earful, but it sounded like they were checking in about something happening.
Right.
Seemed like they were trying to keep fairly quiet about it.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. If you hear anything else, just give us a shout. I mean, the play's alright, but please interrupt if you need to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's a pause and she goes, sorry, I nodded.
Don't worry, I do it all the time on fucking sendings. It's ridiculous.
She goes,
because you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely would.
you head back in.
Is everything okay? Is it an excuse to leave?
Not yet. I'm actually going to message to them, and I'll catch you up. Basically, I'm not going to say the same thing again, but I catch you up.
All right. You return to your seats and watch the thrilling climax and conclusion of Rose of the Wastes.
Is it thrilling?
It is thrilling. At times, it is chilling. There's an elaborate plot involving a failed last-minute communication, a mismatch of a mix-up with alchemical drafts. And a tragic, all ending in tragedy, with an impassioned sort of speech at the close of the play about how this is what happens. This is what happens if you let yourself get trapped in vengeance cycles instead of instead of respecting the rule of law.
That's a rubbish moral.
But technically accurate.
This is true. This is very true. Also, like, they'd known each other about 5 minutes. Is anyone else just like, why are you so into each other?
And it seems like that.
I mean, don't
they
get me
needn't
wrong.
have died, but for the postal service.
I thought it was romantic.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've fallen madly in love before. I really have, and it does happen quickly. But they spent maybe 10 collective minutes together.
I mean, honestly, I have bigger things to think about. I've been worried about too many other things. I didn't pay attention to the second half in the slightest.
I've got to say,
Weirdly, I just needed the distraction so badly that I've become strangely invested, to be honest.
Look, if the guy riding the beetle hadn't gotten distracted by that random fryer by that random person frying things, in the middle of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, I appreciated the comedic scene, but it really
It was a bit weird.
yeah. I just feel like maybe the writer just needed something to as an excuse to delay them.
Yeah, maybe. It's a bit weird. Yeah. Random person frying things. A fryer.
I just realised I just said that I've really
There's no
established
religion, so we can't have a fryer.
there is no organised religion here.
The only religion here is burgers.
It reminded me a bit of
Romeo just
Warburton,
stops
that guy.
for a hamburger on the way back. Yeah, he was a bit like fucking Warburton, actually, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many L's are in his name.
Too many.
Too many.
Precisely too many.
However, the play reaches its climax after following the curtain call. You find yourselves making your way out, and with a short window of time before your reservation at the Looking Glass. Are there?
I feel like we need to catch Corzin up on what we discussed in the fucking interval, because that's a problem. I mean, yeah. Drow Empress is the lawbearer.
What was that?
That's basically it. The Drow Empress is the lawbearer.
Yeah.
And this, what we're seeing, is what happens when you've got a sorcerer's place that they don't come back to for 800 years.
Yep.
This place might be a bit messed up because there hasn't been a sorcerer who can control it coming back through.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I arrived here, I was thinking that
she's still about.
She's not reincarnated, so there's no reason to have come back.
Right.
So
And
the
nobody
only people who've been
fucking-
coming back in here.
Nobody fucking
Can't
lives
control
that
it.
long. So, yeah.
So this whole place has been sort of careering out of control with absolutely nobody at the helm for over 8 centuries.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the echo the lawbearer left behind. And there's been a lot of other powerful people coming through who may or may not have messed with it.
Is the Echo
So
the Lawbearer left behind going to be like a fucking 10-year-old Drow Empress or something? Or is it the one before?
Only one way to find out.
No. But I
Why
mean,
would you leave behind
if
an
there's
echo in a place you were
something-
never intending to come back to?
Well, I mean, it's
for the next version,
it depends.
You
whether-
don't leave it for yourself. You leave it for the next for after you die.
Or
Fair
it was,
enough, but
or
does
it was the one before, and she hasn't come here because she's busy being the Drow Empress.
Yeah, I don't think
But
the
she
Drow
ha-
Empress ever
well-
plans on dying.
Now, but we think. I mean, if some drow came here right before she became empress,
Yeah,
that was her leading them.
I think so.
Maybe, yeah.
So it's likely there's an echo of her here. Is that what's out in the wilderness making things messed up? And is the reason that this place is corrupt as fuck because the Lord Bearer's echo isn't here anymore? Because someone found a way to move it or
Put it in a bottle.
displace it or something?
Put it in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just, the place became so hostile to its original creator that it was banished.
We know lots of other sorcerers with a lot of powerful other people have come through here. There's people here with magic that aren't sorcerers. And there's people here with power that isn't coming necessarily from a sorcerer.
It's true.
Did a bunch of armies come through and leave enough powerful people that they overthrew the Echo who is supposed to be looking after it?
They are quite terrified
Possibly.
of visitors.
And there hasn't been a lawbearer sorcerer come back through to fix it.
Out of character, this was my theory, but I didn't want to mention it in case maybe it was exactly what Jason had planned. We were discussing it in person the other day.
I mean, we've now come to that conclusion in character, so we discussed
Yeah.
it.
Fair.
But it's a whole different. I feel like that's okay to do, right? Yeah.
If you reach the
Characters
conclusion,
have theories,
discuss this
yeah.
conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
I'd actually forgotten we were talking about it in person the other day. My brain's a sieve. But yeah, I think you're right.
That being the case, what's our main priority then? Find the Echo or figure out what's going on with the spirits?
Oh, I think they're probably tied together.
I think they are too, but we've got to start somewhere, so where?
My heart's saying spirits.
That's where people are getting hurt most.
Yeah. I care less about where she is than I do about them.
If we think it's partly to do with the missing edict, can we do that locatey thing you do, Corzin?
Yeah,
That's
it only
smart.
works within a certain distance, but I immediately thought of that, yes.
No, good thought.
And, at the very least, it's credits to get out of here.
Yeah, if we find a...
Yeah.
This is a good point, actually. Corzin, is there any magic you want to do? Right now, there's a lot of sort of hustle and bustle of people.
Now's
leaving the
probably
theatre.
not necessarily the
Well,
time.
I know that locate object only works up to 1,000 feet, so we'd have to be outside of the walls for it to be worth doing at all anyway.
If the thing's outside the walls, we don't know that it's not in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be in the city.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then.
Corzin,
Maybe we don't
don't do it in
the
public.
magic.
Don't do it in
No,
public.
obviously not. No. But I'm just thinking, the first thing we want to do then is get a decent map of the place if we don't already have one.
I
That's
will say, since you have not seen the edict itself, like the specific edict you are looking
Yeah,
for,
it has to be an object familiar to you.
you would locate the nearest object of that kind.
Right.
Yeah.
Which might just be somebody's edict. Yeah.
Yeah, but if there are other divinations or the like you want to cast, you could always try and find an alleyway or something.
Yeah. Just trying to think. There's nothing immediately that's jumping to mind, but
I mean, that awareness one you do might be worth doing at some
oh
point.
yeah, primeval awareness I can
Right
do.
here.
Yeah. All right.
If we think we can get, I mean, how much spells have you got in you today? How much did you use?
I should
Yeah,
have
you
enough
did a
for
bunch of
that.
healing.
Yeah, I've got.
Should you, or did you use up all your spells for today, mate?
You used up 11 spell slots with spells worth of. You used up 11 spells basically. You tapped yourself in healing.
Yeah, I have one level 1 spell, and I have one level 4 spell. That's it.
Got it. Yeah. So if you want to do primeval awareness, you'd need to use the level 4 spell.
Oh, doesn't it work for
Oh
level
no,
1?
sorry, no, I read that wrong. You need to use you could use the level 1 spell.
Yeah. I've got enough. But yeah, best do it not here.
Maybe we do it right before we go to bed.
That's a good idea.
All
Maybe
right,
in the
good
house.
idea.
All right. Just a reminder, it will work since there is no coastline here.
It's 1 mile.
It's 1 mile. Because unless you have a different favorite, do you have 2 favorite terrains?
Actually, yes, urban. Boom.
Oh shit! Then you can do a 6 mile radius. Yeah.
Nice.
Perfect.
Is the city more than 6 miles square?
It's kind of a low density megalopolis at its edges, but yeah, if you went into right now you're in the heart of the city, so like if you were to do it here in this district, you get basically the whole of the set of like the densest part of the city.
All right. Do we have? Is there the equivalent of like an outhouse or a public
Yes.
toilet or something?
Yes, indeed, there are public toilets.
Right. Corzin is going to, on the pretext of using one of these public toilets, go into it and cast Primeval Awareness.
Okay, so you head to the.
I'm just imagining like a weird glow coming from under a toilet door and something like, are you okay in there?
Well, I'm sort of imagining like the wooden single shack with the half moon on the door.
This is more like.
Oh, you don't want to touch the floor in there though, mate.
Interestingly,
Oh, you're going to catch something.
this is probably the most. For context, these are like there are public toilets here. They are weirdly reminiscent of. They're in one way reminiscent of the public toilets you get in central London, where they're like built into like a little underpass or something.
Oh, right. You have to
You go downstairs to below street level, and like there are like ranks of stalls and so on, and like
pay
the little-
15 seconds to go in.
Yeah, the little urinal thing, and there. Actually, interestingly enough, you notice that there are some there is a set there are a small set of what look to be extra swanky ones where it is the sort of pay 5 minutes to go in but there are also publicly accessible not paywalled toilets, which have at least a basic level of privacy on the stalls. Though again, there is also the classic urinal trench.
Right.
These are also the best kept damn public toilets that you, as either Corzin or Sam, have been in.
Oh, I've no doubt.
Yeah,
we are not
like-
navigating
Immaculate.
the piss lake anywhere.
Yeah, this is
right.
in this way they are nothing like Central London public toilets.
They lock them at night. I think they're worried someone will clean them.
They are. That's what it is.
You do actually see someone mopping the floor give you a nod before moving into over to the next set of stalls.
Yeah, I go into one of the stalls. I kneel down.
And you
With as little of my fingers as possible, touch the floor.
Ew.
you gingerly touch one finger to the floor.
There's sinks outside. I'm going to use them afterwards.
And you let your awareness pulse into the ground and around. So, as usual, there's a little piccolo trill of Marjorie that you sense. You don't sense the roaring of the sea anymore, since the eye of the storm is solidly locked away. And somewhere within 6 miles, you feel the cold the cold sort of void of wrongness that is undead.
Undead, okay.
Oh,
That's
no.
even weirder here.
Oh, no.
And
Oh,
as you,
no. That's
and
really
on
bad.
that particular bombshell, as you prepare to make your way up to out of the toilets,
Are these flushing toilets?
and perhaps after a moment of perhaps needing the toilet after that revelation,
Yep.
we will pick up there next time with your dinner date, and wherever this night or this adventure may take you. Next time on Flintlocks and Fireballs. For now, thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. We ventured out into the wastes, the only chance to cheat our fates. Now drawn into these strangers' plans, we place our hopes into their hands.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.